Sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device.
The good news is the shelves are still here with their myriad of items.
Yeah.
What did we decide we were going to do?
I was just going to name random objects and see if you actually
if I had it. Yeah, we do have to do a rope show.
The 2112 kimono hour. Mustaches and kimono.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Lager Room. It is Wednesday, March 31st, the last day of March of this year, 2021. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, is none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
Where the hell are
gentle
gentlemen?
Ladies.
Whoever you are out there.
Gentle, gender neutral.
Gentle people.
Gender gentle.
Gender gentle. There you go.
I was, my son went over a friend's house yesterday, and we asked them what they were doing, and they played some video games and whatever else, and they played Manhunt.
Manhunt.
So, of course, I looked at him and I went, Manhunt? And he went, non-gender specific person hunt.
Non-gender specific person hunt.
And I went, that's better. So
there you go.
We came up with Human Hunt, which is my favorite. Let's play Human Hunt.
Person hunt.
And Person Hunt or Thing Hunt.
Human Hunt leaves out all animals and aliens.
How about I'm going to hunt you, sucker?
You could do that one.
I'm gonna get you.
That's offensive to somebody.
Someone who sucks.
Oh, there you go. Sucker. Exactly.
They feel singled out.
Anybody hey, I suck. I am offended by that. It triggered me. Anyway, screeching halt. How the hell are you today?
Sports, huh?
Sports.
Sports time. Sports ball. Let's talk.
Sports ball. It is sports ball. It is time for sports ball. Well, we're going to talk about what is tomorrow. Tomorrow is a certain day.
It's opening day.
It's opening day.
Major League Baseball.
It's opening day of Major League Baseball. It's also April Fool's Day and Holy Thursday if you're Catholic. But it is Major League Baseball opening day. Major League Baseball.
It's my birthday too.
Is it? Happy birthday.
Yeah. Thank you.
Holy Thursday. Isn't that a Dio song?
Holy Thursday.
Holy.
You come before Holy Friday and 2 days before Easter.
Holy Thursday. Yeah, that's a Dio song. Anyway,
so what did we decide last week? Or
we decided last week.
I said that Lindor was not going to, and
I didn't think he was going to sign.
I said he was going to sign by today.
Porto was not going to sign.
I said he was going to sign by today.
Now,
so for me to be right, he's got 4 hours and 10 minutes left to sign. So
all right, so it's up until midnight, right?
I would just today is it depends. Here's the catch though. What if he signs at 2 a.m? It's midnight by Harry, right?
I don't really give a shit.
Depends on where he is when he signs.
Yeah, I mean, there's 60 million apart in 2 years, and God, it's.
I heard
it's just a slow day for sports.
I heard that sources confirmed, and I heard this like ninth hand, obviously, on one of the groups. That there was a rumor before that they were up to that the Mets went up to 11 years and $347 million.
Yeah, I heard that too.
And I couldn't confirm it anywhere.
That actually,
I read it and then I couldn't confirm it anywhere.
Yeah, I texted him, but they wouldn't get back to me. So we'll see.
You texted Francisco?
Yeah,
Frankie. You call him Frankie.
Right, Frankie.
Yeah,
Frankie. Where you at?
Prime has no insight on this subject.
None whatsoever.
Well, I can say this. He hasn't told me anything.
Were you expecting a call?
I heard they were going to settle on 11 years, $345 million, and a production credit. So, we'll see.
How many points is he getting?
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, so as I said just before we actually came on, to me, this kind of says something about, how much he is desiring to necessarily stay with the Mets or, not. He's more willing to test those free agent waters.
Is he or is he just stuck on something and said? So you think his counteroffer was so off the
just to make them say no?
To make them say no.
Well, I mean, his counteroffer was not 1 year; it was 2 years, right?
And $60 million. Yeah.
And $60 million. That's not particularly close.
It's a significant amount. It's a significant amount.
An extra year and $30 million is the compromise.
It's like a long weekend for Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. So, well, sure, but
or a really good Saturday night. You know what?
The players' union hates it when guys take anything less than the absolute maximum that they can get, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and the agents are kind of in charge of, they're in the player's ear and they're the trusted voice. I don't know. If he doesn't sign, he's not going to get 12 from 385 from anybody else next year, is he?
No, he's not. He's not.
I mean, even with fans back in the stands, revenues are going to go up and all that, of course. But
where's he getting the 12 years, $385 million from next year?
But that's what I'm
right. It's not like the Dodgers are going to have that money to sign him. It's not. Well, maybe they will. Maybe they have a printing press in Dodger Stadium, but the Dodgers aren't going to have that money to sign him. Who is going to have that money to sign him? Is he going to go back to Cleveland? I mean.
Who's going to give him 10 for 325?
Who's going to give him 10 for 325? Exactly.
I see it just the opposite. I think he knows that he's got the Mets in a predicament. I think he does want to stay. The fact that he's asking for 12 years, he'll be 39, right?
40. He'll be 39. 39. He won't turn 40 till after the 12th season's over.
Even Derek Jeter broke down way before that. I mean, he's just trying to get the most. And you know what? The Mets would probably be stupid to just not come close and try to match it at 350 for 12 and call it a day or give him the 365, but with a lot of back end disclaimers and don't front load everything. Give him the total. He's got to earn it.
Give him the 385. Give him the 12 years. But have him earn it. Have there be performance things in there, and also backload it a little bit, and not have all of it guaranteed, and also put in a no opt out.
Look, I'm not a Mets fan. However, if I was, I'd tell him to go pound sand.
Mm-hmm. Well,
we gave you a really good offer for 10 years, so you play till you're 38 years old with a lot of money. If he walks, he walks. Who cares?
I tend to agree.
That's a lot of money that you could spend on a lot of other players, and there's going to be other. And here's the other thing that I have to say about Francisco Lindor. He's a great player. I don't have him in my top 10 players in baseball right now.
No. Who's in your top 10?
He has not hit 300, or close to it. Let me finish my sentence.
Wait, I thought you paused.
In 5 years.
There was a pregnant pause there.
Yes.
But no, I agree with you. I know. Here's my thing. He's foolish if he doesn't take whatever offer they can hammer out and get done today. He's foolish if he doesn't, because number one, he can go out this year and get hurt. Then what is he getting? He's not going to get what he wants. He's probably not going to get what the Mets are offering right now at the end of the season from anybody else. And
you don't know.
I mean, it's possible he could, but odds are against it. However much it depends. Obviously, we'll see what happens. But he's also not going to, whatever team he goes to, unless it's Los Angeles or somewhere else like that, which he's not. He's not going to get the endorsements that he's going to get. He's going to make if he signs in New York, he's going to get so much money. Unless he's thinking about going across town. Unless he's thinking about playing shortstop for the Yankees next year.
Well, the Yankees would certainly fall back on their old habits of, that would be one of the, and look, hey, if the Mets could, then there's some other free agents the Mets can sign.
Sure, they can get Correa, they can get Story, they can get,
And the other thing is, virtually whatever he signs for, and he's the highest paid shortstop in the game. Yeah, for a year, maybe.
Right.
Someone else is going to sign another contract and make more per year. That's So I'm not. I think he's willing to test. He wants absolutely the max he can get. He's willing to test free agency. I think Cohen's in a position where he made him a really great offer, and I think we've all agreed if he doesn't sign, right, then sort of the offseason is a bust.
Right.
Because you're only going to get him for this 1 year.
Exactly.
But if you're going to have to pay through the nose, everyone has a limit, and Cohen's made an excellent offer here. This is a great offer. And if he walks away, he walks away. And I think Steve Cohen can say, look, we offered him a boatload of money.
Right. I think Lindor would be stupid. I think Lindor would be stupid to walk away from this offer. Look, I think Trevor Story is better. I think Tatis has way more upside than Lindor, and probably right now is better. Many people have Bogarts as a better shortstop. Is Bo Bichette probably by the end of the year is going to have better numbers?
Boba Fett,
yes. Corey Seager. I mean, look, there's he is a good player. But there's other players. I think you build championship teams around pitching staffs.
Yeah.
And I would love to see Lindor stay a Met. I think it was a great offseason. I think he's playing them. I think it's his agent trying to get him as much money as possible. And I think they will come to an agreement. I just don't think it's going to be before, within the next 2 hours.
Well, let me ask you this then. I mean, obviously he said before the season starts, right? So if they have something planned, if they have something in the works and they can get something signed at 3:00 tomorrow afternoon, technically that's before the season starts, right? So it's not necessarily tonight,
True.
so to speak. But here's my thing. And I've heard a few other people talk about this too. And I want to get your take on it. He has given the ultimatum where he's like, no, it's before the season starts, or I'm going to free agency. We signed something before opening day, or I'm testing free agency. That's what
he actually said that. I thought it was it'll either be before the season starts, or we won't
it'll be after
during the season.
We're not going to negotiate during the season. He'll test free agency. He said that. He did. Okay. He said that. Now, so here's my thing. What happens, hypothetically speaking, if a month in, even late April, beginning of May, he's having a great year. He's having so much fun playing in front of, and granted, it's only like 20% of the fans, but playing in front of fans, playing in New York, the vibe of the team, everything else. And he says to himself, you know what? Screw that. I do want to stay here. You know what I mean?
Or he's having such a great year that he says his agent tells him, you know what? I'm glad we held out because now it's going to be $400 million.
Right. Yeah, that too.
And 14 years.
Well,
and I want your firstborn to have a contract when he turns 16, or she. Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
It is. Did you see Pete Alonso?
Yeah, Pete Alonso is just
give him 400.
I want to see him and Luke Voigt in a Celebrity Jeopardy. spelled dog.
Oh, that's funny. That would be interesting. DAWG.
Yeah, it's easy for Pete Alonso. Then you kick in the extra $15 million or $20 million or $65 million or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah. Look, I think that if I'm Lindor, I think he's got 2 or 3 more years where he can get a long-term contract as long as he plays well.
Right.
So he's really got nothing to lose. I don't know where to go on this because I thought what the Mets offered him was at least worthwhile countering with maybe 1 more year and whatever the equivalent in salary would be. And I think the Mets would have signed it. But 12 years for a guy who's going to be 28.
Yeah.
To make him the highest paid position player. That's a lot of that's a lot of money, especially with somebody who should know that, hey, we got holes to fill here in order to win a championship. Right. If that's important to you.
And considering that both parties are looking for a long-term deal, this is not a case where the team says, we'd like him for maybe the next 3 years, and he's thinking, I want to be here for the next 10.
I thought they would have offered him a 7-year deal. The fact that they offered him a 10-year deal, I think is a little generous on the Mets to begin with.
Right.
But hey,
Yeah, but it's not about those last 3 years. It's not about what he's going to do those last 3 years. Sure. You know, in his case, being 28, it's about what he's going to do.
It's about what he's going to do in the next 4 or 5 years. While they still have DeGrom, while they still have...
He's got more to risk by not signing, and anything can go wrong. He could have a lousy season. He could get hurt. There's all sorts of things that can happen to diminish his value. Now, you know, certain teams are going to probably still be just as interested or almost just as interested, you know, no matter what happens because of his track record. But
this just in, Francisco Lindor signed with the Brooklyn Nets for a 2-year deal.
And he's playing center.
Well, they needed a backup for Kyrie.
Right, well, he's going to stand on Kyrie's shoulders.
He's not that much shorter than Kyrie.
Well, problem solved.
There you go. He thought he was signing with the Mets, but he misspelled it. That's what the problem was. So, in any event,
his agent didn't have his glasses on.
His agent didn't have his glasses on.
Handed him the wrong contract.
It was a whole thing, but who the hell knows? You know, I agree with everything both of you are saying. He's a fool. He's a fool. He's foolish if he doesn't sign that deal, or he doesn't work it out that they meet in the middle with the average annual salary to get to 11 years. If he wants that extra year, I mean, does he really want to play? I guess he wants to play until he's over 40. I mean, is he? You know, who knows?
He wants $365 million.
He wants. Well,
he doesn't care if he plays till he's 32.
The $325 million is going to tie him for the 5th richest contract, tied with Stanton. You know, so there's Tatis is over him, Trout obviously, Machado and whatchamacallit? Harper.
Tatis.
Harper.
Yeah.
But you know what?
And those are all maybe Harper is arguable, but those are all pretty much players that are more valuable than Francisco Lindor.
Right. Harper got a 13-year contract, but Harper was also
not Stanton.
Stanton's the biggest waste of money.
Stanton was waste of money.
Yeah, but that deal, well, Harper's deal was signed.
Other than Johnny Damon and what was the other Red Sox center fielder the Yankees signed? It's the worst signing.
Ellsbury. Worse, Damon or Ellsbury? Ooh,
Ellsbury.
Ellsbury was worse than Damon.
Yeah, because it was a lot longer, and Damon actually played a little bit.
Can we do a top 10 worst Yankee signings one week?
Damon won a World Series.
Yeah, we could do top 10 Yankees worst world signings and top 10 Mets worst.
World
signings. World signings.
Here's my question for you guys. If you're Steve Cohen, you say, okay, 10, 325 wasn't good. Here's 11 at 350
or whatever.
40,
350, 355, whatever.
Whatever it is.
Take it or leave it. It's available anytime during the season you want to sign it. And that's all I'm going to say. And now we're going to move on and we're going to start talking.
What's the difference between 11 and 12 and 15 million at this point?
Right.
Well, what Steve Cohen has said is there's a limit.
Mets really want him, then they come in and match it. I would match the total dollar amount and the total year amount. I would just make it less front loaded and more performance based.
Right. But if you start doing that, then you're stuck. I mean, look, then you're stuck in that mode. Right. And any other great player that you want to bring in. Well, look, Cohen has said this only everybody. What's the phrase I'm looking for, John?
Everybody's replaceable.
No. Even my pockets only have so much in them, or whatever the hell he said.
We're the Mets. We'll figure out a way of fucking it up. Oh wait,
yeah, no, that's their normal team motto.
That's what it says on the back of the mask.
He basically said, "I only got so much in my
pockets. I'm
only
so deep."
Yeah. I'm only going to spend so much. He's going to set a line here, and I think that's good policy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with it. I mean, because at that point, who the hell cares what the Mets offered if he's just coming back with this outrageous number and you're expected to, kowtow to it and say, okay, here you go, here's the money. Then what are you even negotiating for? You should just walked up to him and said, what do you want? And we'll give it to you,
Right.
At that point. But, negotiation works both ways. And Cohen even said in one of his tweets, he said, it takes two to tango. Yeah. I hope he signs it. It takes two to tango. And what I got out of that wasn't like, saying anything derogatory about Lindor. It was saying, hey, you know what? I gave you an offer. You gave me an offer. Let's meet in the middle. It takes two to tango. You know, we got to figure it out.
And listen, if they have a great season, then maybe Lindor, has a little more incentive to sign with the Mets. He might be more interested in hanging out with the Mets and making $325 over $10 million than
trade him
going
for Trevor
somewhere.
Story and sign Story to a contract extension.
I'd be fine with that. Actually, I'd be fine with that.
Why not? Do it in April.
That sends a message, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You don't want to fucking play here? Okay.
All right.
We'll bring in somebody who does.
April 30th, we're trading you to Colorado. We're getting Trevor Story here. We're signing him long term. Goodbye.
You think Trevor Story is going to be far less of a fucking problem to deal with? Come on.
But in any event, let me ask you this. Let's move on from this. To wrap it up in my way of thinking,
how quickly the New Yorkers will turn. Lindor, love him. Bring him in. Got to sign him. This is a great deal.
You know me.
We're like,
I've never been sold on what I think this is overpaying for him. I just don't get the complete he's the best player in baseball storyline.
Well, it's the defensive aspect too.
I get that. He's a great
shortstop.
He's a good baseball player.
We're Met fans. We're hungry for a superstar. We want somebody to come.
This is the biggest signing, if not bigger, really, than in its place than Piazza was back in '98.
Sure.
Here's the thing. I don't know how I feel about this question I ask you, and then we'll wrap this up because it's been 20 minutes of Lindor.
Just knows what you're talking about.
To start the damn,
which is what he wanted.
Right.
He said, if I can get 20 minutes out of the locker room talking about me, then I'll sign a 10-year deal now.
Well, you know what? If that's what it was for, done. There you go.
Yeah, if that's what it takes, we'll do 30.
If that's what it takes, we'll do 30 if you want. Yeah. But will it affect the Mets this season if he doesn't? In other words, will and I don't just mean by the players on the field.
It'll affect
I mean the players on the field, but
it'll affect you and the New York media and all the Mets fans who want to obsess on this shit. It'll not impact the team one bit.
Right. Well,
go out there, play baseball.
He'll go out and play well, right? Because he's playing for a contract.
Within a couple of weeks,
you're going to get a good season out of him. We'll have other things. We'll be talking about Alonso's slump, or we'll be talking about when we'll be waiting for Carrasco to come back, and
the great play on the field that Guillerme's been putting up. And no, I'm kidding. But
we'll start talking about Jimenez,
the return of Lee Mazzilli,
the return of Lee Mazzilli Rosario.
What's Mike Piazza really doing for this club?
Did he change his name to Mazzilli Rosario now?
Lee Mazzilli Rosario. Yeah, that's his new name. But what is Mike Piazza really doing for this club? There you go.
Yeah, that'll be a topic of conversation.
I'm sure. Yeah. All right. Well, moving on from that, getting back to what the topic at hand is, it's our MLB Preview, 23 minutes into the podcast, MLB Preview edition, if you will, of this podcast. Tomorrow is opening day. Not any other sport can't say they have an opening day. Opening day is synonymous with baseball. I mean, it's so great. And I read a little something here, a couple things I just want to bring up. For generations, opening day has arrived amid pageantry, if you will, in Cincinnati, home of the sport's first openly professional team. The annual Findlay Market Parade marks an official city holiday with young and old alike taking the day off to cheer the Reds. Anyway, the Reds have basically always had, for decades, the first pitch of every major league season has always taken place in Cincinnati.
Oh, really? Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Les Nessman usually is the first.
And the Reds remain the only major league team to always open the season with a home game. Always. But there's a couple of quotes. Joe DiMaggio said this one. You always get a special kick on opening day, no matter how many you go through. You look forward to it like a birthday party when you're a kid. You think it's something wonderful. You think something wonderful is going to happen. And this other quote, you tell me who said this. A home opener is always exciting, no matter whether it's home or on the road.
Yogi Berra.
There you go. But in any event.
My next guess would have been Tim McCarver.
It was 6-1.
It's become like St. Patrick's Day in normal times out here in Denver. And, we're going to have fans in the stands tomorrow. And I think Lodo is going to be hopping a little bit. Opening days in a lot of places where perennially you don't have a team fighting for, a playoff spot, sometimes opening day is the highlight of the season.
Pretty much.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. This is true in any sport theoretically, but because of the number of games in the baseball season, really that, even for the bad teams, those first couple of weeks, when you might only be a couple of games out of it, you can, that hope does spring eternal. And certainly opening day, everyone is, and look, everybody else starts at night, right? The NFL starts on a Thursday, for God's sake, night.
Well,
now.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also just kind of, I think, mentally for a lot of places in the United States, it sort of signals, hey, maybe winter is over. Yeah. Please make winter over. And, that's kind of, it's symbolic in a lot of ways.
And also when you think of, when you think of, playing football, you think of being outside for the most part, right? Mm-hmm. Certainly NBA and NHL, you're in an arena, but baseball is always, you think about a game outside in the sunshine.
Unless you live in Houston or Minnesota.
Stadiums, of course, but that idea of baseball out there.
Minnesota stadiums outdoors now.
On the first day of the season, it's
target.
There is no other sport that's like that.
Well, at least part of the stadium's outside.
The outside of the stadium is outside.
But part of every arena is part of it's outside.
That's true. Yeah. No. Since when they rebuilt the whatchamacallit, the dome, the Vikings are still inside, but the Twins are outside. In any event, it's opening day is great, and like everybody says, hope springs eternal. So, let's hope that is. What the hell is this? I am not going to even read this comment, but I'll show it to you guys later. Holy crap! Oh, you don't even want to know it.
Did Lindor?
No, it's some sort of spam for. It's
Vietnamese.
Just let it go. Go to Facebook if you want, and go to the page, go to our page, and read the comment.
I'm not going to look.
It's funny.
All right, so
hope springs eternal.
Who's going to beat the Dodgers? That's basically the summary of baseball this year. Who's going to beat the Dodgers? Does anybody have? The Dodgers got better than they were last year.
There's a few things we can go over. The Dodgers did get better, but are they going to win again? Here's why I say no. It's not a strike-shortened season, but that's just my.
At least not yet.
At least not yet. Yeah.
I mean, I think they should win it. Will they? Who knows? It's really hard to repeat. Is it hard to repeat after half a year? I don't know.
It's a third of a year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They're gonna have a long season though.
Their season's longer than everybody else's.
No, they're gonna have a long season of fighting with another really, really good team in the Padres.
Yeah.
Well, everybody has that though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I think the Dodgers have had it. Maybe not as much.
They haven't had it as much. Yeah.
No, they haven't, and they're also going to have a long year fighting with the head case that is their number 2 or 3 or 4, whatever he's slotted in for, starting pitcher. The Mr. I'm going to pitch with one eye and breathe through my eyelids like the lava lizards of the
Bauer fatigue could be an issue.
Is he any more of a head case than Justin Turner or any? I mean, if he performs at 75% of what he's capable of, the Dodgers are going to be really, really hard to beat.
Yeah, well, that's if. He had one good year, and it wasn't even a year. It was 11 games, 60 games.
I think he might not even be their second best pitcher.
No. They have 7. They have 7 pitchers that are no better than that. All of them, none of them are any worse than a number 3 starter. So they have a crazy good.
And I think they have the best lineup. I think they have the best lineup, offensive, defense considered.
Combined, yeah.
And I think they have the best team to play in today's baseball. Then they're versatile. They can play multiple positions. They know how to hit. They somehow hit the long ball, even though they're not really built for it. And they've got a deep pitching staff. I just think that the Dodgers are here, and there's a second tier And then there's a big third tier that's with a lot of question marks.
Well, before we get into any predictions and everything else, I mean, we know how we all know, and people that are have been watching the show know how we feel about what the Dodgers are doing out there. So let's go around the league. Let's start in each division. Not take forever to dissect everything, but let's talk about each division. Let's start with the National League East, and we'll start with the Mets, like you said. I don't. Let me get your opinion on the pitching staff as it is right now, before anybody comes back. Right now, DeGrom is the first starter. Then you got Stroman, Taijuan Walker, David Peterson, and Joey Lucchesi. Obviously, you got Syndergaard coming back at some point. You got Cookie Carrasco coming back even before that. What's your take on the rotation? Quick, bing, bang, boom.
I think that they have the potential of being the best rotation in the National League East. Having said that, I think without some people really stepping up and without them getting healthy, I think they're the third best on paper right now. I think that both the Nationals and the Braves have better pitching.
Okay, fair enough. Pete?
I would say I would agree. Nationals are really top heavy.
I agree.
They have an excellent staff. They're waiting for two big pieces to come back to that rotation.
Sure.
And I think this is going to be I don't think anyone is running away with this division. And the fact that they don't have Carrasco to start and they don't have Thor to start could end up hurting them. Could kind of keep them down a little bit. It's going to be tough for them to get off.
I think the Mets and Braves. I think the Mets and Braves have a better potential pitching staff to get them through the season. I think the Nationals have the best pitching staff for the postseason, but they got to win it first. Right. And so, look, I think the Braves are going to have a really good year, and the Mets are going to have to play a lot of games against not a horrible Philly team and a very good, very good Atlanta team and a very good Nationals team, and they're in a tough division. There's a lot of parity.
Yeah, I think you can look at those four teams, and there will be, depending on how big your hand is, not more than a handful of games separating first and fourth in that division.
Yeah, it's going to be tight.
And that's where I think not having those pitchers to start is going to make it a little more difficult for the Mets.
Right.
I think all those teams wear out pitching staffs, especially the Mets are going to have a better lineup this year. The Braves know how to do it better than anybody else. The Nationals, they're going to make you pitch deep into your depth. Yep. And when you have to play 4 or 5 series against these guys, that's going to take its wear and tear. It's not like, you have two or three teams in your division where, hey, I could go with my 4, 5, and 6 and get my 1, 2, and 3 ready for the next series.
Well, let's flip
you're gonna need somebody in those those 2 and 3 spots in almost every series.
Yeah, absolutely.
To realistically win many of them.
Let's flip it over to offense for a second here. Starting lineup: Nimmo, Lindor, Conforto, Alonso, Tom Smith, McNeil, Davis, and McCann, obviously, and then the pitcher in the ninth spot. How do you feel about that lineup?
1 through 6 is top 6, 7 in the league. The bottom half of that has a lot of question marks. But I think when you look at
Davis
the Mets,
and McCann have a lot of question marks.
More than some other teams, I think.
Okay.
What did McCann hit last year?
Hold on, let's find it. There we go. He hit last year. He hit He hit 293.
Okay, so he had a good year.
Mm-hmm. And his career average is 286.
Yeah. So I mean, the Mets fans were down on the McCann acquisition. I don't know why.
I was in for it. Even before they even signed him, I said, take him because you're going to save a ton of money.
Well, it might have been the biggest value acquisition they had.
Yep.
Let's listen. He wasn't. I don't. Well, I think
going into the Yankees.
J.D. Davis. By the way, J.D. Davis's career average is 328.
Yeah. Okay. So.
But that's But what's the sample size on that?
It's a small. He had a down year last year, and then he had a lot of years where he only played a few games. His biggest sample size was 2 years ago, 2019. He raked for the Mets.
Yeah.
So, but
look, Alonso had a pretty good spring. Certainly, the later part of the spring was very good for him. But the difference.
Which is more important.
Which is more important. And listen, even last year, I heard today that if you looked at his numbers last year, supposedly a terrible year for him, and you extrapolated that out over a full season, he would have hit something, I think it's 37 or 38 home runs, which certainly is not, 50 plus, but it's nothing to, to shake a stick at, so to speak. So,
not at all.
But there are always question marks. And
well, we talked last week.
I think that the Mets offense can be absolutely deadly, but you got to see who's going to get hurt because there's always injuries,
right?
And
hopefully the training staff and the
and listen, guys are going to go through slumps
from what it used to be. So,
do they go through slumps at the same time, or are they smart about it? And okay, you have a slump now, and then I'll have a slump after that.
You take your slump now. I'll take my slump next month.
They could absolutely be. They could be absolutely deadly, but.
We'll see. Like we said last week, Joel Sherman wrote that article. The Mets have a potential to have a terrifying offense this year. So we'll see what happens. The defense. The only thing I feel is they need to get in a nutshell. Starting pitching wise, they need to get Carrasco and they need to get Syndergaard back. I'm not too worried about Peterson. Lucchesi, obviously, there's an issue. They may actually do what they did. I think they did it once last week. They're saying what they may actually do when they throw Lucchesi is they may actually use an opener. They may use an opener and then put him in and go from there and work on that a little bit. But you know what? I'm not too upset about it. It's better than most, even the way it is right now with Peterson and Lucchesi in there too. So I'm not worried about the offense at all. But what I am worried about is a little bit of the defense from some of them. Dom Smith is a potential Gold Glove first baseman playing left field. And
it's close.
Yeah, it's kind of sort of on an angle.
It's only all the way across the.
Well, listen, a base hit can be a ground ball. So
sure, no, I know.
You should have no problem with that.
He can put his foot up against the wall and catch fly balls.
Right. He can. Well, we'll see what happens there. I'm less worried about him than I am about J.D. Davis at third base. That's my that's my biggest concern there. But if they're smart and they look at the pitcher that's pitching. And they rotate, if you will, accordingly, and put Guillorme on third when necessary for a ground ball pitcher, and keep Davis in there for his bat when you have a potential, primarily a fly ball pitcher in there. Then and so be it. But that's my take on that. Let's move on
if he's just whacking the crap out of the ball, you leave him in there all the time.
You got to leave him in there, yeah.
His offense is outweighing the defense.
If he's whacking the crap out of the ball, but every batter that's getting up on the other team is smacking line drives past him, or ground balls past him for that matter, then I don't care how good he's hitting. I want him out of there.
Unless you've got a lot of really pretty experienced pull hitters going up against his pitching staff, you're not going to have everybody hitting the ball.
In Major League Baseball today, people leave the entire side of the stadium with no players on it, and somebody can't hit it there. For you to tell somebody to hit it to that guy, it's not going to happen. Rod Carew's not playing anymore. George Brett could do it every time. There's probably 5 guys in the league that can do it right now.
It's probably.
But listen, if it's really bad, you just take the second baseman and put him in short field there.
Right. That way, exactly.
Davis misses.
Short center.
Yeah, there we go. Play it like a softball team.
There you go. Can we have a 10-man rotation there anyway? All right, let's flip it over to the Phillies for a second. They got their starting rotation. They got Aaron Nola, Wheeler, Zach Eflin, Matt Moore, Chase Anderson. I'm not too concerned. As a Met fan, I'm concerned about it. As somebody that's a Phillies fan, maybe. I mean, Zach Wheeler's a number 2. All right, so he's a good pitcher, but he's not. I don't think Zach Wheeler's number 2. He was never number 2 at the Mets. He was, But then again, look who they had in front of him too. So, I think he's a solid 3.
Yeah, but I think the team that can beat up on the Phillies the best this year wins the National League East.
Right. Phillies.
I think the Phillies are going to be the pesky team that can end up.
I know. That's what I mean.
Later on.
The team that can kind of get past them, because you're going to wind up splitting and having some parity.
Yeah, you may have have 2 out of the 3 of the Mets, Washington, and the Braves kind of splitting with Philly, and then one of them having those extra 3 or 4 wins against them, and there's your division title.
There's your division right there. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Their lineup, they got McCutchen, Rhys Hoskins, Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, Didi Gregorius, Bohm, Segura, and Quinn. I mean, it's not
it's a very competent lineup.
It's a pretty
right?
competent lineup.
And the Mets and the Braves have the 2 best offensive lineups in that division. They have 2 of the top probably 7, 8 lineups in baseball. So I think they have a little bit of advantage on the Nationals in that regard. In my opinion.
But that Phillies lineup is not bad, right?
It's not bad.
Realmuto there. Harper is Harper. Gregorius, right? If you
Mike Schmidt, yeah.
If he plays like he did when he was a Yankee, then
that's right.
They should be okay.
Mike Schmidt was a Yankee. No, okay.
No,
but
Didi Schmidt.
Gregorius.
I think Didi's going to have a bounce back here. Yeah.
Didi will have a decent year. McCutchen,
McCutchen's getting on in years.
But
he's still capable of being
a scrappy player.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right. He's right in the middle of where Lindor's contract extension would be.
It's a quality team.
But he's a left fielder. He's not a shortstop. That's
exactly. So left fielders can play a lot longer than shortstops.
Maybe.
When was the last time you saw a 45-year-old shortstop?
When was the last time you saw a 45-year-old left fielder?
Lou Piniella, when he was 27, looked like a 45-year-old.
Lou Piniella, when he was 27, was a 45-year-old.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Where did Julio Franco play? I guess he just DH for the last 10 years of his career. And then retired at the ripe old age of 54.
Is that James Franco's brother?
James Franco. No, it's Matt Franco's brother. All right, let's talk about the Braves.
Brother from another mother, maybe.
Brother from another mother. Decent staff. We don't have to go through all these for a lot of the teams. Decent rotation pitching staff. Pretty solid. Their lineup is
I think the Braves are the team to beat.
Acuna Jr., Ozzie Albies, Freddie Freeman is a nightmare for Mets.
Ozuna,
Darno, Dansby Swanson, Riley, and
Darno.
Pish, yeah.
Glad to see he's come around.
Well, he just needed to be on a different team is all it was. So.
He just needed to be somewhere besides the Mets, yeah.
He just needed to be somewhere
like Wheeler. Well, Wheeler could just never stay healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, so
that was his
I think that
he sucked when he pitched for him when he was on the mound.
My personal opinion, as I'm wearing the shirt, I think the Braves are going to be the Mets' biggest nemesis, obviously in the division. And as Harry said before, whoever wins more games against the Phillies and the Marlins, for that matter, there's your division right there.
I think the Braves are slightly the projected favorite in the division. To me, I mean, I think they're just There's a little bit more. There's a little less uncertainty going into the season than the Mets for obvious reasons and the Nationals, but it's going to be close. It's going to be close.
Yeah, it is.
So what's our order here? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the Nationals, same as they still have a solid lineup, although not as good as the Mets or the Braves. You might even say not as good as the Phillies, obviously, depending on how everybody's hitting. But at least but they have Josh Bell now. They got Josh Bell over from the Pirates playing first. So and Starlin Castro's at third. Trey Turner, Juan Soto, Kyle Schwarber.
Soto,
Juan Soto
could be the best player in the National League.
It's their pitching staff. If their pitching staff is going to make up for a lot of inconsistency in the lineup. I think.
But as Pete said before, it's top heavy. It's Scherzer and Strasburg, right? And you got Patrick Corbin in the third, and John Lester's pitching fifth. So, it's a solid rotation, but. I think it's at least good, if not better than the Mets rotation right now. When Carrasco and Syndergaard are back, it's not. That's my
right. Overall, no.
Overall, no. Yeah.
Like I say, the Nationals are built to get to the playoffs and cause havoc.
Right. And the Marlins, you know what?
They're not a pushover.
They're not a pushover. They're scrappy. They did what they made the wild card last year. Granted, it was 60 games. I don't think if it's a regular season.
Are they a hockey team? The Marlins.
The Marlins, yeah. They're a highlight.
In the off season, they're a highlight team.
Right. But you know what? They do have a decent young nucleus. So we'll see what happens with them. Okay, let's talk about the division. What's the order? Who's winning it? What's the order? National League East.
I think it's going to be the Braves, the Mets, and the Nationals, and I think the Braves are going to pull away and win the division.
All right. So you're saying I'm marking this down because we're going to keep this for posterity here. Braves
for posterity.
Posterity.
Posterity. But it's posterity. It sounds like a
whoever loses gets their list shoved.
It sounds like a combination CrossFit gym and prostate exam. Come to posterity.
I was going for a joke there, but that's even better than I was thinking. So I'll leave it alone there.
Posterity.
Posterity. We like to make up words here.
Let our fingers do the talking.
Get our forever membership.
That's right.
We'll keep it for.
Turn your head and cough. Posterity.
We'll keep it for posterity. The joke I had was far worse than the one you made. I'm even going to say it.
Okay.
We're
trying to edit ourselves.
Braves and how many wins?
Oh God, we got to pick number of wins. Enough.
No, just
I think the Braves win 96 games this year.
All right. Pete, who's winning? How many games?
I think it's going to be Braves, Nationals, Mets, Phillies. That would be the top four. I'll say the Braves win. What did you say? 96?
Yeah.
I'll say 97.
All right. I am going to say Mets. Imagine that. And I'm going to say 95.
95 is going to win the division.
95 is going to win the division.
Could be.
So a lot of parity.
A lot of parity.
Yeah.
There's good teams playing against each other.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if the Mets aren't losing a couple of games to the Braves or the Nationals, then the Nationals and the Braves aren't winning those couple of games. So, and if the Mets and the Braves are both raking over the Phillies and the Marlins, then they're both getting the beat around that. So,
everybody's getting those.
Getting those wins. So I'm going to say Mets 95 wins. All right, let's we'll do it faster. Let's do the National League Central.
This will be fast because I don't know anything else about it.
We'll just talk about the teams in general.
Not that I know anything about the NL East, but I know even less about any other division.
Brewers, a couple of standouts on their lineup. Lorenzo Cain still playing. Christian Yelich, obviously. They're I don't know. They're right, I think, in the thick of things, but between them, the Cardinals obviously have Paul Goldschmidt still playing. They got Nolan Arenado now. DeJong, Yadier Molina still.
Cardinals have to be the favorite, right?
The Cardinals,
Yeah, but I think there's going to be a lot of parity in this league. I think 85 wins you this division. I really do.
Yeah.
I think it'll be the Cardinals, but I think the Brewers will be right there. And I think the Cubs will have a better year, but they'll probably be around 500.
I think the Cardinals have to. I think it's going to be Cardinals, Brewers, Cubs.
Yep. Yeah, the Reds had a surprising postseason last year, but they lost power, and that's a big part of their.
But to your point, with 85 wins winning the division. That also means I'm going to go out and say that the Reds and the Pirates are not tanking. They're not 40-win teams.
No, I think all these teams are within. Other than the Pirates, I think all these teams are going to win. 75 games.
Right.
And the Pirates.
Might be in the Pirates.
The Pirates might not win 60 this year.
Yeah. It's possible. I'll call it right around 60, but.
I think Pittsburgh's the worst team in baseball, other than maybe the Rockies.
Right.
And I think Pittsburgh has a little bit of an advantage.
So I'll go first. I'm gonna say the National League Central. I'm gonna say 87 wins. Cardinals 87 wins. Pete.
I'll say Cardinals 84.
Okay. Harry.
Cardinals 85. They're going to squeak past the Brewers. Brewers will be second. Cubs will be third. They're going to be neck and neck all year, all three of those teams. Cardinals pull away. 85 wins that division.
Cool. All right. Let's move on to the National League West. All right. Talk about your Rockies for a second. What do they have to do this year to win 30 games?
They'll win 30 games. I think they'll probably be right there with the Pirates. I think they'll win 50, 55, 58 games. The Rockies have a pretty decent lineup. I mean, look, they still have I think they have one of the best outfielders in baseball in Charlie Blackmon. Right. I think they still have one of the best, if not maybe the best shortstop in baseball. They've always been able to bring up young pitchers, whether or not they can kind of get through a season with all of them kind of reaching their potential, at least at the same time.
Right.
I don't think they're going to be as bad as everybody's predicting them to be, but they are in the mode of retooling this team, and I would not be surprised if you start to see them unload players, especially towards the trade deadline.
I wouldn't.
People talk about Trevor Story. If you're a championship team and you're on the bubble, Charlie Blackmon is a game changer.
Sure.
Charlie Blackmon is a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, this is the Dodgers division, and I think the Padres are going to stay close to him, but they're not going to win it.
I think the Padres have a lot of power. Their lineups their rotations no slouch, and their lineup is crazy. I mean, they're going to be if the Dodgers weren't the Dodgers, the Padres would be running away with this division.
I think the Padres may have the second best record in baseball and come in second.
Yeah, and get a wild card.
I think the Dodgers are going to win 101, 102 games, and I think the Padres are going to probably be between 96 and 97.
Right. And if I had to, I mean, the order, I would say that it's Dodgers. I would say Dodgers, Padres,
Giants.
Giants, then Diamondbacks.
Maybe the Diamondbacks. I don't know.
It's close. Giants and Diamondbacks are a toss-up for a third and fourth, but so that's fine. But all right, so you're saying Dodgers and 101?
Yeah.
Pete?
I'm going to say Padres and 99.
Going to Padres.
I think they're going to do it this year. I mean, it's. I know I shouldn't, but I don't know. The only thing I'll say about the Dodgers is it's hard to do it again.
It is. You're right.
They're certainly built that way, but we've seen great teams that just can't, for whatever reason, seem to get it done. And I like the Padres better. So
nobody's repeated. Nobody's repeated since the Yankees three-peated, right?
Nobody has repeated since the Yankees repeated.
2000.
Yeah, it's hard. It's just hard.
The last series that won a team their second or more series in a row beat the Mets. If you look at it like that, so
great. But the Dodgers will be second, right behind them, and I think the Giants will be third. I don't think.
I'll lean towards the Giants third, and then Diamondbacks are going to be a close fourth. Though they'll be a game or two behind.
It depends on how Madison Bumgarner does, though.
Right. This is true. I'm going to say Dodgers 102. 102. There's mine. All right. All right. Let's move to the American League. Talk about the Yankees there, Harry. What do you see happening? Well, for the beginning of the season, anyway. Let's put it that way.
I think they have to get out to a good start. I think they have to get innings out of their starting pitchers. I think that these guys shouldn't have no reason to not to be able to get some wins out and get some innings out of these fresh arms.
Right.
Having said that, I think the Yankees will win the division, and I think only because I think Tampa Bay is going to slide back down a little bit. I think Boston's going to be better, obviously, than they were last year. And the Yankees, much like we were talking about the Mets in the American League East, I think the Yankees have Baltimore's number, and I think they'll be able to beat up on Baltimore a bit. The Blue Jays are going to be good, but I think they're going to be 5-6 games behind the Yankees when it's all said and done. I think the Yankees win the division with, what did I say on the special? 97, 98? I think 97 wins. I think the Yankees win 97 games.
Gotcha. I think, you know what? I like we talked about last Friday on the special Yankees corner. I don't think it's a horrible thing that they got to start the year with Bruce at first and Luke Voigt on the DL. But he'll be coming back at some point, obviously. So
he'll still play more games than Kevin Durant.
This is true. Although
that's not saying much.
That's
not saying much. At this point,
look, I want them to be healthy when the time is right. And injuries, look, the Yankees are injury prone. Everybody is. Right. It's just, and last year the Yankees didn't play with the full team until the very end of the year.
Yep.
So, of course, injuries are always a bit, and that's why I have the Yankees winning this, because I think the Yankees have the depth to, when Mike Talk wins your fifth best outfielder, I think you're doing okay. I think the lineup will, during the regular season, will score enough runs. It's just, I can't wait for Luis Severino to get back, and I have optimism that 2 of the 3 guys that are going to be in number 2, 3, and 4 in that rotation are going to have good years.
Yeah. Well, likely true. So we'll see what happens. I mean, they're pitching. You know, we talked about it probably 5-6 weeks ago. It was a question mark. You know, with everybody they were bringing in on 1-year contracts and this and that and everything else. Now looks pretty solid.
Again, it's deep, and they could if somebody gets hurt, they have to bring up Devi Garcia. Okay. Jordan Montgomery's has looked good. Mm-hmm. You know, these guys that they've brought in have pitched well in the spring. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I hope that they can. They say they're going to go to a 6-man rotation. We'll see. We'll see when that materializes. I hope they don't do the old, bring in Chad to pitch 2 innings, and I just don't like it. I think it throws off the game, and let the guys pitch innings. Let the guys pitch innings, and let them pitch through it if they're having a little trouble, because they've got to get in rhythm as quickly as possible, and that, much like the Mets, it's all going to come down to the Yankees pitching. It's all that's what it's going to come down to.
I do concur. Let's talk about the Blue Jays for a second and some of the moves that they made and where they stand amongst the other teams in the East.
They've got a great lineup. Yeah. They're young. They're kind of fun to watch. I think Bichette is going to have a breakout year, even though he's already had kind of a breakout year. Mm-hmm. You know, Springer's hurt. They've got a bunch of new players. We'll see how they gel, but they've got nothing to lose. That's the thing. They've got nothing to lose. There's no pressure on them. They're going to be this year's Tampa Bay Rays if their pitching can pitch much. Like the Rays just seemed like anybody they put on the mound gave them innings.
Right.
The Blue Jays, the Yankees have question marks at pitching. I think the Blue Jays have more.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're right now they're starting their second. Their number 2 pitcher was in the Mets bullpen last year for most of the season. So, and Steven Matz.
But I think they're going to score runs.
Yeah, no, they're going to score runs. They're going to score plenty of runs.
They're going to score runs.
You know what? I mean, that's where it's headed, right? I mean, you know, you got to have good starting pitching, but if you don't, you got to score a lot of runs.
Right. You know? You think the Astros put up numbers a few years back? Yeah. This team's going to do it.
There you go. I think they're going to win the division. Okay. I think injuries are going to be a problem for the Yankees, and that youth. I agree with everything you guys said about the pitching staff, but I think that youth is going to help Toronto stay on the field and help them keep scoring runs. I think they're going to edge out the Yankees.
Fair enough. Red Sox, things that they've done to increase their.
What did they do? I think it's just I just think they didn't really do much in the offseason, but I think they'll be better than they were last year. I think they'll be a 500 team.
Right.
And I think that they'll give you some tough series where you're like, how did we just lose 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox?
Sure. So they went out and got Kiki Hernandez, right?
Right.
They still got JD Martinez is still there. He's DH, and Xander Bogaerts.
They still have dangerous guys in the lineup.
They have.
It's just that their lineup is not as deep as it was, obviously, when Mookie was there. And
they've got less pieces that can kind of come together and make for a dangerous lineup.
They didn't make a lot of moves to shore up their pitching staff.
No. Yeah.
And I think Tampa's still a better team than Boston.
Evaldi is their number 1, is their ace. And
they're right. They're projected. Who was going to start for them? Who was going to be their opening day for Boston? He got hurt.
Mike Torres.
I don't know. I forget his name. But Evaldi is once again getting the start on opening day.
He's getting the start on opening day, yeah, exactly.
But he was not the planned opening day starter.
And Mr. O, Adam Ottavino, is their closer. So,
watch, he'll probably have a bounce back season.
Yeah. So. And we'll the Rays. I think we're all in agreement that the Rays are dropping off. I don't think they're going away. They're not falling out of the.
Never underestimate them. They are the Oakland A's of the American League East. They're I would not be surprised if they're right on the heels of Toronto. I would not be surprised.
Wouldn't shock you?
No.
All right. We'll see what happens with that. And
they seem to have the Yankees number. That's what concerns me in that division. Is last year they had the Yankees number. Bam.
Yeah.
They always they definitely had it last year, that's for sure. But they did lose a lot of the pieces.
I understand.
That helped them have the Yankees number.
I understand.
So, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, sometimes that kind of lingering confidence or mindset though can make up for a lot.
Some teams just match up well against others.
This is true. And speaking of the Orioles, how do we feel about Mr. Matt Harvey being the number 2 pitcher for the Orioles?
It tells you everything you need to know. American League Central.
There you go. All right, let's get the numbers though. Harry, you said you are taking Yankees and 97.
Yeah, I'll go 97. I might have said 98 or 96 last week, but I think 97. I think they're going to need to win 97 games.
All right. RadioPete?
I'll say Blue Jays 96.
All right.
And I think the Yankees will be right there, and I think the Rays will be right behind them, or they might flip-flop, but I think it's going to be very close.
I'm saying Yankees 96. That's where I'm at. All right, AL Central. Kick it off with the Indians.
Are they the Indians?
Well, at the moment, they're the Indians. They didn't take their name away. They didn't do a Washington.
Oh, they didn't? Okay.
They're
not the Cleveland.
They're in the process of changing their name.
They're not the Cleveland team.
They're not going to rename. They're not going to be the Cleveland Baseballers. They're or the Cleveland Baseball.
Harry, I think
they will remain the Indians until they have a new name.
I think we have a compromise solution, Harry. I think the Steamin' Indians.
The Steamin' Indians.
Yeah, I think the problem with the name was not the Cleveland part. I think it was the Indian part.
How about the Steam Indians?
Yeah.
The Steam Indians.
Look, I still think Cleveland's got
Steam Indians, but
still has a hell of a pitching staff. It's just they're not going to score as many runs.
They have a hell of a pitching staff. I mean, Shane Bieber is.
I think if the White Sox I think it's going to be the White Sox, Twins, Indians.
Jumping right to the predictions. Not even talking about that.
No, I agree. I think he's dead on.
I mean, they got they got Eddie Rosario from they got 2 Rosarios on the team now.
No, there's no rule. You could have the whole starting lineup of Rosarios.
There you go.
And you could have Rosario Dawson pitching.
She's slated in for the 4th spot right here.
I think many years ago, I one of the old school baseball games you can draft, and I think I drafted an entire team of Johnsons.
That wasn't baseball. That wasn't baseball. That was something else. That was
you're right.
That was your Tinder profile.
Never mind. That was something different. That was a hell of a team.
You were swiping right on every Johnson.
Swipe right on every Johnson.
Those some great Johnsons, I'll tell you.
Johnson.
Johnson and Johnson.
Johnson and Johnson and Johnson and Johnson and Johnson. And another 4 after that.
Johnson.
Doctor. Anyway, I think they have a decent team. I think they're the team to beat. But just to look at a couple others, Tigers. I mean, what do you? Yeah, exactly.
They're from Detroit.
60, 65 wins.
60, 65, yeah.
I think the Royals will win 75. I think the Indians will be hovering around 500, maybe a little bit above. And I think the White Sox win the division with maybe 92 wins, 93 wins.
I'm not convinced the White Sox are going to win. I think it's going to be a close race, but I think the Twins are going to pull it out. I think the Twins are going to win.
I think it'll be within a game and a half to 2 games between the Twins and the White Sox. I really do.
I do. I do too. I think at the end of the season they're going to be a game and a half ahead.
I think if anybody in this division wins 94 games, they win the division, no problem.
I would eventually say.
I think 90 wins might win you this division.
Yeah, I mean the Twins have a great lineup. They have a decent rotation, and I think, and the White Sox do too. Though you're absolutely right. I mean those 2 teams are going to be neck and neck. They're going to be fighting it out all year. So on that note, you're going with the White Sox in how many games?
Me?
Yeah, Harry.
I'm going to go a little high. Just I think White Sox 92, 91, 92, something like that. 92. Let's give it 92.
All right, Pete.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. White Sox in 92. I think they just edged the Twins.
I'm going the opposite way. I think the Twins edge out the White Sox, and they win 93 games. That's where I'm at. So, all right, brings us out west. Astros, Rangers, Mariners, Angels, and Athletics. Radio Pete, you start us off this one. How do you feel about them Astros?
Well, the Astros are still kind of the Astros.
Yeah.
Actually, I heard today. I think they did the top 20 jersey sales, and Altuve I think is in the top 15. So,
was he?
I guess at least some people are getting over the whole cheating thing.
Yeah, everybody in Houston. It's a big city.
Yeah, but they'd all have to be buying jerseys.
Yeah, well, no, it was James Harden when he left. He bought an Altuve jersey for everybody in Houston. That's what.
Maybe that was it. All the people that were going to buy Harden jerseys said, "Well, I guess I'll buy
Altuve jersey." Yeah, exactly.
This is a tough division. There's everybody's hyping the Angels. I don't know.
You know what? Everybody hypes the Angels every year, and what do they do every year?
It's been a long time since they were worthy of that hype, and I kind of like Oakland.
I do too.
Why.
Yeah, I really like
even
Oakland.
though I don't know why, but they're Oakland.
Every year they lose all these. They build up this great team out of nowhere, and then they lose them, the free agency, and then they do it again. I still think the Astros are going to win the division.
All right, so let's go there right now. You're saying Astros and what?
90.
90. There you go. Astros and 90. Radio Pete.
Oh, man, it's hard to go against the Astros.
Is it now?
Well, no. It's easier than it should be because they're the Astros, and even I don't like them. I'm going to say Oakland and
I hope it's
Oakland at 89.
Oakland and 89. All right. Well, you at least you're with me on that one. Oakland and 91.
Ooh.
Oakland and 91. That's where I'm at. So there you go. So
which means the Angels will finally win the division this year.
Which means the Angels will win the division this year. Absolutely. The Rangers will win.
Angels will win Ohtani will be a 20-game winner and hit 450.
Listen,
the Mariners will come out of nowhere and take the division.
It's all speculation with Ohtani, but he's a dark horse MVP right now. If you subscribe to those sort of prognostications.
Do you imagine if Ohtani wins the MVP and
I'll just
Trout
say
doesn't?
This. I'll just say this: wouldn't it be cool to see Ohtani do, some version of what we're all kind of hoping that he could do? He doesn't have to be a 20-game winner, but wouldn't it be great if he came out and had a really nice season pitching and was able to knock the ball around too? I think it'd be just great to just witness that, just see a player do that. I think it'd be wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it'll happen, but I sort of think that he is the Porzingis of baseball.
Well, he's DHing for the opening day game. So that's interesting. So yeah, I think the A's actually get over the hump and win the division this year. So all right, let's recap. And at least Harry says Braves 96 games, Pete Braves 97 games, myself Mets 95 games. National League Central, Harry says Cleveland 85 games. Pete says Cleveland 84 games. I say Cleveland 87 games. We're all in agreement on that division. NL West, Harry Dodgers 101, Pete Padres 99, myself Dodgers 102. AL East, Harry says Yankees 97, Pete says Blue Jays 96, I say Yankees 96. AL Central, Harry White Sox 92, Pete White Sox 92, myself Twins 93, and AL West, Harry Astros 90, Pete A's 89, myself A's 91. There you go. And that'll do it for our preview show.
We forgot to flip a coin.
No. There's nothing in our contract that says we have to do that.
Let's flip a coin.
Oh, God.
Let's flip a coin. Let's flip.
No, there's too many flips.
No. We'll flip a coin. We'll flip a coin for the ones that two of us like one team and one of us like the other. We'll flip a coin for those.
All right.
Why the?
You can do that off the air, though.
We'll do it off.
Okay.
It's only three. It's only two. Three.
Okay.
It's only three.
Let's do. All right.
All right.
Well,
NL East. It's either Braves or the Mets. So heads will be Mets. Tails will be Braves.
All right. Tails, Braves.
And NL Central, we all agree Cleveland, so it doesn't matter. NL West, we're Dodgers or Padres. So Dodgers are heads.
Dodgers are heads.
Yep.
Tails.
Padres.
Oh, crap.
And then we were at the AL East, Yankees and Blue Jays.
Yankees are heads. Heads, Yankees.
There you go.
All right.
And didn't even cue up the beaten by the coin music, so we're not going to worry about that anyway.
No one's going to be beaten by the coin in this.
I know. AL Central, White Sox and Twins. So White Sox are heads.
Heads. White Sox.
And AL West, Dodgers. I'm sorry, Astros and A's. Astros can be heads.
Astros are heads. And it comes up tails. Mean the coin.
A's. All right. There you go.
There we go.
Threw a little baseball beaten by the coin in there. So we'll see how that pans out when we get to the end of September.
We'll check back with you in 6 months, folks.
We'll check back with you then. There you go.
Till then, have a great weekend, and we'll see you in 6 months.
Actually, it's almost seven. It's almost just about 7 months. Actually,
see you in 7 months.
See you in September. Yeah. All right. A couple other things before we get to our top 10 list. Whatchamacallit, the Mets obviously are starting their home opener away. DeGrom.
They're starting their home opener away.
I'm doing the Yogiism. Come on, they're starting their home opener away. Their opening day away against the Nationals tomorrow night, 7:10. DeGrom versus Scherzer. DeGrom, he's the fourth Met to start a third straight opening day. Please forgive me. I did not. I can only tell you that I can assume Seaver is one of them, Gooden is another, and who do we think is the fourth?
Didn't you just say he's the third to do it?
He's the fourth Met to start a third straight opening day.
It's a good question.
So, what do you? Harry ponders. What do you think there, Pete?
I don't know the Mets.
That's the problem. Neither do I. Who's the guy from back in the day?
Oh, him, right.
You know who I'm talking about. Crap. His name is escaping me. Koosman?
Koosman?
Jerry Koosman?
Could be Jerry Koosman.
Jerry Koosman, maybe?
You are wrong. It's not Jerry Koosman.
Bobby Ojeda?
Nope, not Bobby Ojeda.
Okay.
Where are we here? I just got to find my list here. Where the hell did it go?
Wait, do you know who it is, or you just?
Yeah, no, I know who it is. I know who it is. I'm just getting back to the.
You'd probably be right either way, but
I'm getting back to the. There we go. I got it.
Bartolo.
No. Well, it's Tom Seaver, Dwight Gooden, and who's the other? Who's the fourth behind? Not behind. With DeGrom, Seaver, and Gooden. All right, you want a hint?
No, give me 1 second.
Wasn't Ojeda? Wasn't Darling? Wasn't Jerry Koosman?
I don't.
Give you a second while you search.
I think it's going to be somebody who. Tom Glavine.
Not Tom Glavine.
Did he also pitch for the Yankees?
Nope.
later in his career? No.
Nope. The last team he ever pitched for was the Mets.
Wasn't Bartola?
Nope.
And this is the most opening day starts.
Most opening day in a row. Three in a row.
So there's 4 guys that had 3 in a row.
4 guys had pitched 3 straight opening days. So DeGrom is the 4th to do it as of tomorrow.
I don't know.
He has one other very big distinction as a Mets pitcher. Only one to do it.
Santana?
No, Johan Santana. Pitched 3 in a row. Yes, he did. Silence. Wow.
Yeah,
I forgot about Santana.
For some reason, I didn't. How many years did he pitch for the Mets?
6, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10.
For some reason, I only picture him as like having 3 seasons with the Mets. I don't know why.
No, he was there for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't there for 8, 10 years, but he was
but
5 or 6
than,
years he played.
Yeah, twice as long as what I thought.
Yeah.
So I didn't think about him at first.
So you're telling me that Tom Seaver had 11 opening day starts for the Mets, but he never did more than 3 in a row?
Well, no. I mean, Tom Seaver actually. Oh, where's his record? Tom
10
Seaver,
in a row.
It said 10 in a row. 68 to 77, he was the opening day starter. And Dwight Gooden did 3 in a row. 4 in a row. 88, 89, 90, 91. Dwight Gooden did 4 in a row. Johan Santana just had the 3.
Did 3 and
he's the 4th to do 3 in a row. Doesn't mean the other ones stopped after 3. It just
gotcha.
I got you.
So there you go. Yeah, Seaver had 10 in a row. And
so he'll be the 4th Mets pitcher to make 3 or more opening day starts.
3 or more opening day starts, yeah. And then next year he'll probably be the 3rd Mets pitcher to make 4 or more opening day starts. But in any event, all right. I got to ask you this really quick: who has more on the line this season, Luis Rojas or Aaron Boone? Rojas,
Boone.
Obviously Boone to win the World Series, Rojas not to win the World Series, just to get to the playoffs and do well or whatever, but that's not going to be a bust like it would be for Aaron Boone. But who has more on the line?
I would hope it's Boone. I don't think it is, though, because I think the Yankees are set with him. But I think Boone has more on the line.
Pete?
Yeah. No, I think it. I don't know. I mean, Boone is just going to follow the sabermetrics. He's going to do what he's supposed to do. It's almost not his fault if it doesn't work out, right? You're going by the numbers.
His decisions with the pitching staff has been questionable.
That's sort of been his Achilles heel.
And the other thing I can't stand about Aaron Boone is he never has a consistent lineup. He's always changing it, and I don't think that's a recipe for success.
Always tweaking it, always tinkering with it.
I understand when you have to, and he's lucky he's got guys like LeMahieu and Torres who can hit, in various spots. But I think you got to lock these guys into a lineup. I do, and you got to stick with it. It's less about changing the lineup and more about changing the guys in the lineup.
Gotcha.
Don't juggle it around to try to save somebody who's hitting 193.
Yeah,
I would.
But Rojas, I mean, you'd think they're going to want him around they're going to give him some time, right?
Well,
this is a team that's been built to win, obviously, but unless he's glaringly terrible.
Unless they suck it up and he just starts making really bad personnel decisions and the team turns on him, which I don't see any of that happening.
No.
I don't think he could do any wrong.
Here's my take on it. I think Aaron Boone, even though it's a World Series championship or bust for the Yankees, and it's not that for the Mets, I think Rojas is more on the hot seat. And that reason is this. Boone is he's comfortable. And I don't mean him personally. I mean Cashman, Steinbrenner, they're comfortable with him. And Rojas, neither Steve Cohen or Sandy Alderson picked him to be the manager of the team. So he's not their guy. So they'll give him this year. If he succeeds to the point where they expect this team to get to, gets to the playoffs, hopefully wins the division. If not, gets a wild card because they only missed the division by a game or two, and wins and does well in the playoffs. Maybe he doesn't make the World Series. If that happens, yeah, he's sticking around. But short of that,
otherwise they go, no, he wasn't the guy we wanted, and
he wasn't our guy. Goodbye.
There's not that many great managers out there, though. But yeah, you're right. Aaron Boone is kind of like the Eric Spoelstra of Major League Baseball. I don't
only without the wins,
without the championships. Yeah. You're talking to somebody who never wanted the Yankees to get rid of Girardi. Having said that, it's a different year. It's a different game. It's a different type of player. You got to baby these guys a little bit more and somehow motivate them, I guess, in different ways. I don't know. I don't think Boone. I think forever the Yankees have always had an advantage based on who their skipper was for years and years and years, whether it was Joe Torre or Joe Girardi. I don't always think that now. I don't, especially when it comes to playoff pitching.
Right.
And you need a wizard to make this Yankees pitching staff work.
Let me ask you guys this: what is more of a factor here, to a greater degree, is what I mean. Aaron Boone's ability to screw things up with lousy bullpen moves and an inconsistent lineup, or Rojas's ability to have a positive effect on this team and win. In other words, is this team just going to do what they're going to do almost regardless of what he does? I mean, not completely regardless, but can he have more of an impact in a positive way on the Mets than perhaps Aaron Boone can have a negative way in the Yankees?
I think Boone, no matter what, always has the attention of his players in the clubhouse. And I think he's been a little bit better for some of these guys who need a more delicate hand. I don't know if Rojas has the clubhouse. I don't know if he has, I think it's going to be it's more of a mutual thing with the Mets. If the Mets start winning, then I think his value and his leadership maybe grows. If they don't, then I think it's less secure.
He'll get more blame if they're not winning than I think he'll get credit if they do. Right? If they win, this is the team that was built, and really we can almost have anybody kind of manage them. But if they lose, they'll go, well, Rojas isn't getting the most out of these guys. But
potentially, I don't think there's as much pressure on him, though. I don't think there's as much expectation. I think that, and I do think that he's going to be a pretty good game manager. I don't know the ins and outs of what's going on in that clubhouse. They have a lot of new faces. We'll see. I don't know.
We will see. We'll see. On that note, the where did I have the couple of predictions preseason, before the season, I should say, prior to the season predictions as far as some voting goes, as far as awards after the season. Experts have predicted these at the moment. Who these experts are, I really couldn't tell you. I just see the list here. The American, exactly, it's not us. It's we can discount it right there. But American League. See if you agree or disagree. American League MVP, Mike Trout.
No.
Who cares?
All right.
I wanted to say that, but I felt obligated to answer.
American League Cy Young winner, Garrett Cole.
God, I hope so.
All right.
I hope so. There's a lot of pressure on Cole. There's a lot of pressure on Cole.
American League Rookie of the Year, Randy Arozarena.
Sure, why not?
I don't know enough. To make that.
He looked pretty good in the World Series.
Yeah.
So is he really a rookie?
Well, he came in the middle of the season, so he's not. It's like this is his rookie, full rookie year. Yeah.
Yeah, according to
technically, he could have played the whole season last year, and this is still going to be his full rookie year.
Right.
American League Manager of the Year, Charlie Montoya, which would lead to Pete's Blue Jays winning the division. National League MVP, Juan Soto. Good chance.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
maybe.
If I had to put money down, he'd probably be the first guy.
He'd be
Acuna Jr., Fernando Tatis, Mookie Betts.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It could be any of them. Juan Soto's He's good though.
Francisco Lindor.
Yeah, I would hope it'd be Lindor. National League Cy Young Award winner.
I think it's going to be Chris. I think Corey Seager could win the MVP.
Yeah, it could be. Cy Young, National League Cy Young, Jake DeGrom.
That'd be great, right?
Yeah. I mean, with the exception of the Bauer outage last year, he could have been going for his fourth in a row.
Well, and look, they should actually be able to score some runs for him this year too. So
that's a good thing. Maybe he'll win more than 10. Maybe he'll win the 20 games that he should have won.
Right. I think Bueller's going to give him a run for his money. I really do.
Bueller. Bueller's going to. Bueller. Darvish may even win a few extra games there too.
And I think Scherzer's going to have a bounce back year, but I don't think he's going to have as good a year as DeGrom.
I don't think Scherzer's going to be pitching as good as DeGrom is. DeGrom's going to be DeGrom, Bueller, maybe Darvish. Those are my top three. But for that,
yeah, Scherzer may wear down a little bit. He's still. I don't know how old he is, but I know he's not young anymore.
Right. National League Rookie of the Year, Ke'Bryan Hayes from the Pirates. I don't know enough about him. That's what it says. So Ke'Bryan Hayes. I can't speak to that, whether a good thing or not. So. And National League Manager of the Year, Jace Tingler.
What a great name, right?
That's great.
Only in San Diego could your manager be named Jace Tingler. He's Dirk Diggler's brother, right?
Dirk Diggler's. He's Dirk cousin. They're cousin. Tingler and Diggler. Tingler and Diggler.
For all your accounting needs. Let our dangling participles make your tax return better than ever.
Tingler and Diggler. Dirk and Jace. Anyway.
We guarantee you'll leave feeling happy.
Rojas did receive right behind Jace Tingler as far as votes go. For the
from the experts.
From the experts, whoever they may be. So anyway. And just as an aside, it's the Rojas is plus 650 to win National League Manager of the Year, and Aaron Boone is plus 500 to win.
I'm going to call my bookie.
National League Manager of the Year. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Plus 500. Aaron Boone is plus 500. So
Shane Chase, Jace Diggler can have Manager of the Year if the Yankees win a World Series. Then I'm okay with that.
There you go. Chase, Dirk Tingler.
Tingler.
The
Tingler.
Tingler Bradford.
The Tingler comes out to the mound and pulls Diggler.
He's yanking Diggler out.
Hey, he's bringing him out.
On pins and needles. He's dangling at the top.
He's dangling his participle. And winning the National League Manager of the Year. So there you go.
Look, I think the Padres have the biggest potential to be the underachiever of the year.
You know what? Yeah. I mean, that's possible too.
A good point.
If they lose a lot of their interdivision games to the Dodgers, they could. I mean, there could be some slumps that are started.
There hasn't been this many expectations on the Padres since Tony Gwynn played for them. I mean, really, honestly, there hasn't.
Nope.
So we'll see. We'll see when the lights are shining a little brighter how all of these guys start to gel.
Well, they haven't made a World Series since what? Since the Yankees beat them in 98?
Was it 98, 97, 98? Yeah, 98. 98.
Yeah, Yankees went 96, 98, 99. The Marlins won in 97. Marlins beat the Indians in 97. But
there you go.
There you go. All right. Well, why don't we get
keep it classy, San Diego.
Keep it classy, San Diego. All right. Good luck to all the teams out there and all the fans out there.
No, not all the teams. Fuck some of them.
You know what? I'm just being nice the day before opening day. Tomorrow the gloves come off.
Fuck the Red Sox.
Anyway,
all right. Let's move on to our top 10 list. Top 10 list this week.
To quote Ron Burgundy.
Please do.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
Oh, there you go. And to quote Ron Burgundy, milk was a bad choice.
On such a hot day.
On such a hot day. I love Lamp. I love Lamp.
Top 10. This is
top 10 Opening day MLB Opening Day Performances. Top 10 Major League Baseball Opening Day Performances. We got a top 13 for our top 10.
This is a tough one.
It was a tough
one.
One.
Surprisingly difficult.
It was difficult, but we were in agreement with a lot. It kind of worked out. So we got no pictures because to get pictures of the actual game that these players played in,
we need a time machine.
Yeah, it would be impossible. So we just got the names up. So I'll read like we've been doing, and you guys can take it from there. Number 10B we'll start off with, and that would be Mr. Bob Gibson. Bob Gibson, the game in question would be the Cardinals versus Giants game in 1967. Harry, you want to elaborate?
Do I want to? Yes, give me one, sis. 1967, 9-inning pitch, 5 hits, 0 runs. Cardinals won 6-0. Look, he had pitched. This was his 9th straight year starting pitching on opening day for the Cardinals. He pitched against Juan Marichal, another Hall of Famer, and he became one of only 8 pitchers to strike out at least 13 in the season opener. And he racked up. Gibson was ready. He's one of the best pitchers of all time, and this is probably his most dominant opening day. Yeah, he struck out the first 5 batters he faced, which included Willie Mays and Willie McCovey. So he's still only one of 2 pitchers to strike out at least a dozen in an opening day shutout. So there you go, Mr. Bob Gibson.
Number 10B.
Number 10, yeah.
10B.
10D.
10B. Bob Gibson. All right. Number 10A is none other than Mr. Craig Biggio. In game in question would be the Astros versus the Brewers in 2001 opening day. RadioPete, you want to take this one?
5 for 5 and a couple of runs scored. Didn't drive any in, but when you go to the plate, it really doesn't matter what day it is, but also especially on opening day, I think it carries a little weight. And you hit the ball safely 5 times. That's an accomplishment.
That is for sure. That is definitely an accomplishment.
And they got the win. I think it was 11-2 or something was the score. So
I believe you're right. Yeah.
Again, didn't drive in any runs, didn't hit any home runs, but
to quote the great Brian Fantana, they've done studies. And 60% of the time it works every time.
Mm-hmm. I always thought that would have been a Yogiism too. 9 out of 10 times it works every time. There you go. That would have been a Yogiism. Anyway. Yeah. All right, number 10A, Craig Biggio. All right, that brings us to number 9. Number 9, Pudge, the original Pudge, Carlton Fisk. The Red Sox versus the Yankees, 1973, opening day. Harry, you...
4 for 5, double, 2 home runs, 4 runs, 6 RBIs, and just clutch as always. What else are you going to say?
Yeah.
A 15-5 route. He took both Mel Stoudemire and Lindy McDaniels deep, and he's driven in this game. He's driven in more runs on an opening day performance than any catcher in the history of the game, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Did you say 6 RBIs? You did. Yeah,
6 RBIs, yeah. 4 runs scored, 4 for 5. Take that. Craig Biggio.
Crazy good game for Pudge Fisk there. So there you go. Number 9, Carlton Pudge Fisk. There we go. Number 8 is Mr. Raul Mondesi.
What a great name.
Raul Mondesi, absolutely. The game in question was the Dodgers versus the Diamondbacks, 1999. Which one of you wants to take this one?
I'll take this one, I guess. Mondesi's always been one of my favorites. He was the Buffalo, right? Wasn't that his nickname? Somebody that used to call him the Buffalo, I think.
It could be. I know that. I know Wilson Ramos was the Buffalo too, but he might have just taken it from Raul Mondesi. So
maybe.
Just like
anyway,
just like Pudge Rodriguez took Pudge from Carlton Fisk. So.
I don't know. Maybe I have him confused with somebody else. But anyway, Raul Mondesi, a great name. Always one of my favorite players. And we're talking about 1999, his time with the Dodgers. Not 5 for 5, but pretty close. 4 for 5, 2 home runs, He had a walk in there, 6 RBIs, and the Dodgers with an 8-6 win. And I think one of his home runs tied the game, and another one was the walk-off.
First home run tied it in the 9th.
Yeah, first home run tied it in the 9th, and then 2 innings later, homer. 2 outs and 1 on, and he went deep for the 2-run homer, the 2-run walk-off homer. So that's really what makes this a performance. Clutch hitting.
Raul walk-off Mondesi.
Raul walk-off Mondesi. There you go. That would be our number 8. Number 7 is Mr. Kirk Gibson. There he is. Game in question, opening day for Tigers versus Red Sox in 1986. Harry?
4 for 4, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. The Tigers beat the Red Sox 6-5, and he singled in his first 2 at bats, driving in a run. Gibson mashed a go-ahead 2-run homer off Boston's Bruce Hurst in the 5th inning, and after the Red Sox moved back in front, Gibson launched another 2-run shot in the 7th to give the Tigers the lead and the win. Kirk Gibson, he had. I remember another home run that he hit that was pretty memorable.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Yeah, that was kind of a video game for him. Oh, you're going to score runs? Oh, I'll get a couple of run homer. Right. Now we're back in front. Oh, you're going to go back in front? Here's another 2-run homer, and that'll win it for us.
Yeah, it's one thing to go 4 for 4 and hit a couple home runs. It's another thing to do it like Mondesi and Gibson, where it's like, okay, these really mean something.
Right. Yeah. We're behind, now we're ahead. We're behind, now we're ahead. And it's the same guy doing it over and over.
Exactly.
Right. That's good stuff.
Great stuff. There you go. Number 7, Carlton. I'm sorry, not Carlton. Kirk Gibson. Not Carlton Gibson. And changed his name for him. That's his middle name. Kirk Gibson.
No pictures this week.
No pictures. I just said it before. To find the actual pictures of those opening days.
I'm just joking.
It would have been a pain in the ass. So anyway. All right. That brings us to number 6C. We have a 3-way tie for 6.
Oh boy!
And they're actually related. They're all related.
I know they are. Yeah.
Oh, is this okay?
People that hit 3 home runs in one game.
3 home runs in one game. 6C is Tuffy Rhodes. Game in question: Cubs versus the Mets in 1994. Who wants this? The one that's upset, or the one that's laughing about it?
I mean. This was really the Mets had a couple really great years, and then it just started to slide again.
This is typical.
You start the season off with all the hope and optimism, and Tuffy Rhodes, who I think had 12 home runs in his whole career, hits 3 home runs in one game.
Yeah,
to beat you.
Yeah, this is a very Mets
off of Dwight Gooden. He hit all 3 of them off Dwight Gooden.
Yes,
that's just crazy. I mean, yeah, he made Bob Chicken Stanley seem like a home run hitter.
This is kind of the Timmy Smith baseball equivalent. One great moment, and of course it was against my team. He actually Tuffy went to Japan, right? He had a bit of a career in Japan, I think.
I believe he did.
He has a name for it. Tuffy Rhodes.
He retired.
Tuffy Rhodes. You know what?
Though? Great name, but.
Let's be fair. The year before, in 1993, the Mets lost 103 games. Okay,
True.
And also Dwight Gooden in 1994 was not Dwight Gooden from 1984. Okay, so
yeah, but
bit of a difference in the man. So,
but still, giving up 3 home runs at Tuffy Rhodes.
Now, of course, 2 years later, he won a World Series with the Yankees, but that's another story for another day. But anyway, Tuffy Rhodes.
So did every other former Met player.
Yeah, exactly.
2 years later, they won with the Yankees.
2 years later, they won with the Yankees.
I think Gooden was the only one, wasn't he?
No, Gooden Strawberry was on that team.
Strawberry, that's right. I forgot about Strawberry. That's right.
Cone came in a couple years after that.
Cone, yeah.
Do you think of Cone as of a Met or a Yankee? I think of Gooden and Strawberry as Mets. I think of Cone as a Yankee.
Well,
I don't know why.
He was a Met first, but you think of Cone as a Yankee because he got his perfect game with the Yankees and do anything.
I just feel like it was more balanced. Whereas Strawberry and Gooden,
he was good but unspectacular with the Mets.
Right.
With the Yankees, there was a lot of news made. Those are big accomplishments.
When he was pitching, all the other pitchers that they were bringing in at the time, the Mets, Frank Viola, and all the other guys, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Frank Viola wins a World Series with the Twins and comes to the Mets.
Right.
There was a lot of parity there at that point. So.
Yeah.
But, anyway, number 6C, Tuffy Rhodes. Let's go to
At least he was 6C.
I mean, Tuffy Rhodes, what a great name for a country singer.
Well, he had a tough road to get to being Tuffy Rhodes.
I knew you were going to.
You knew I had to say it at some point. So. Let's move on to 6B. 6B is Dimitri Young. Dimitri Young, game in question.
Where are they now?
Yeah, where are they now? Game in question, Tigers versus Royals 2005. One of you want to take that one?
Yeah, he hit 3 home runs.
3 home runs? 3 home runs.
Dimitri Young's, I don't know. This is just a guy I always liked. I don't know why.
He was good.
He was a good player, and he just, I don't know, he seemed like a good guy. And
those Tigers teams, too, at that time, seemed like maybe something was finally going to happen again in Detroit.
Those were, they were. And,
They had a good lineup.
Well, they went to the World Series the year after.
Yep.
Right.
So, but
didn't they have, what's his name in center field, too, then? The guy who played for the Yankees and the Mets. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well,
who was the Yankees and Mets center fielder?
Check that.
3 years ago, Mets starting center fielder. 5 years ago, Yankees starting. What's that?
Granderson.
Yeah. So you're right. Yeah, he was there.
And I think Young had a tail end of his career was with Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I kind of noticed him more.
Dimitri Young, yeah.
Else.
And this one
didn't know him when he was on the Tigers.
Unlike Tuffy Rhodes, hitting his 3 home runs off of Mets starting pitcher Dwight Gooden, Dimitri Young actually hit his. He had 2 off of Jose Lima and then 1 off of Mike McDougal.
Right, and he went 4 for 4 with 3 home runs and 5 RBIs.
Yep.
So and he got hit by a pitch.
Yep. There you go. Yeah, he did get hit by a pitch.
Which I think is kind of almost a theme here.
Can we just change hit by pitch to I got Don Baylord?
I got Baylord, yeah.
So instead of HBP, it's DB.
Yeah. After you hit your third one, then you get Baylord.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. You've been Baylord. You've been mossed in football. You've been Baylord.
I think Don Baylor has the record. I think he got hit like eight at bats in a row or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So that's number 6B, Dimitri Young. Moving on to 6A. 6A is George Bell. George Bell, the game in question. Blue Jays versus Royals in 1988. Harry?
He went deep 3 times against none other than Brett Saberhagen, including a go-ahead 2-run homer in the top of the 4th that sealed the deal for Toronto. He was the first one to do it.
Yep.
88. And Tuffy, even though Tuffy Rhodes sounds like somebody who played in 43, actually did it in 94, and then Dimitri.
Tuffy Rhodes sounds like somebody who played in, like the 20s, 30s, maybe 40s.
Yeah, exactly. And, Tuffy Black Shoes Rhodes. I mean, I don't really remember George Bell very much, but 3 home runs opening day against Brett. If you're hitting 3 home runs against Brett Saberhagen.
Well, if you recall.
And Saberhagen was still pretty damn good in 1988.
Saberhagen was great in 98. He won, 88.
He was even better.
88. But
if
you recall, Brett Saberhagen was great one year and sucked the next. And every odd year he was great. Every even year he sucked. So, and this is 88, so that, perfect timing to suck, basically. But in any event,
here's my George Bell story, real quick.
Go for your George Bell story. Go.
I don't remember the details, but I went to a Yankee game with a friend of mine who was a Yankee fan, and Bell had a pretty good day at the plate. I think he was 2 for 3 and might have hit a home run or drove in a few runs, and it was kind of a blowout. I think the Yankees were losing by 5 or 6 runs. And then late in the game, they brought in some young kid was on the mound. I don't remember. And George Bell struck out.
From Korea, some young kid.
Some young kid. Some young guy. And then from behind me is the epitome of Yankee fans. Some guy with a cigar nub in his mouth. Hey, George, you got struck out by a rookie pitcher. The guy single-handedly beat you in his, previous 3 at-bats, but he was going to get his licks in on George Bell that day.
Had to get
and we were down close. We had good seats, and Bell just kind of looked up and waved at him and walked into the dugout, hey, look at the scoreboard, pal. But it was just such a classic moment for me, just exactly what I pictured. Wife beater, stubble, there on the weekend, some iron work or something.
So the only difference is he didn't throw a battery at George Burrow.
No, he didn't.
Or else he would have been a Mets fan.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't throw anything.
That only happened to.
But he was. Listen, he was making the best of the bad situation.
Right. Yeah. That's Lou from Staten Island.
Lou from Staten Island. There you go. And on another note, with these three, obviously 6A, 6B, and 6C, all of them had in common they were all 3 home run hitters in an opening day game. I'll throw another one in there that did not make our list, just for the point of getting somewhere with this. Matt Davidson actually did it 3 years ago.
Yeah, he did.
The White Sox.
But you can't have 4 guys.
No. I'm just bringing it up for a reason. White Sox versus the Royals, and 3 different pitchers actually hit off of 3 different pitchers in 2018. Because now you're in 2018, so you're getting shelled. You got 2 innings, so you're getting pulled. So every time you come to the plate, you're facing another pitcher. So. But in any event, the reason I bring that up is, other than Tuffy Rhodes hitting 3 off of Gooden in the Cubs versus the Mets, all 3 of those other guys, Bell, Young, and Davidson, those are the only 4 guys that have ever hit 3 home runs on opening day. All 3 guys hit them when their team was playing against the Royals. All 3 of them were against the Royals. So just wanted to bring that up. Point of interesting.
Kansas City pride.
Interesting fact of the day. So there you go. All right. So number 6A was Jude Bell. We'll move on to number 5. Number 5 is Camilo Pascual. Game in question, Washington Senators versus the Boston Red Sox in 1960. You want to take this one, RadioPete?
This was, 15 strikeouts, I think, which is
15
still the record for opening day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And listen, this is a guy that I had never heard of before today, but was quite a pitcher for a reasonable number of years, and had a fantastic day. I don't know where I had the numbers up here somewhere, but
I think I have an uncle named Camilo Pascual, but I haven't seen him.
You do?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. He came over that one Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's right.
Watching football.
Beer
with us.
Quite a performance, and
15 strikeouts against Ted Williams, Frank Malzone, and Pete Runnels. I mean, that's a pretty good game.
That's a great game. That's a great game.
Yeah, Runnels was
the batting champion.
Batting champion. So one hit only, and of course against the Red Sox. So anything that happens bad to the Red Sox is good.
There you go. And there you have it. And all you Red Sox fans can appreciate what he just said. There you go. So,
both of you Red Sox fans.
Both of you Red Sox fans. Anyway,
they might be watching the podcast right now.
So, number 5, Camilo Pascual. There we go. It'll bring us to number 4. Number 4 is Mr. Walter Johnson. Walter Johnson, the Senators versus the Athletics.
How did this drop to number 4?
Number 4, Senators versus Athletics. Where did you have it at?
I had it at number 2, but it was the best performance, really, stat-wise. I just had 2 more memorable, much more.
You had 2 number 1s.
I had 2 number 1s, but yeah. But I mean, can I take this one? I mean, Walter Johnson, 1926, 15 innings pitched, 6 hits, 0 runs, 3 walks, 9 Ks. Yes, he pitched a 15-inning, 1-0 shutout when he was 38 years old.
Yeah.
After he had pitched more than 5,000 innings in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not even the longest that he had ever pitched, but this just happened to be. Yeah, if you look up Walter Johnson opening day, you will see a number of stat lines.
Here you go.
He has 9 shutouts on opening day, Walter Johnson.
And this is the last of his 14 opening day starts.
Mm-hmm.
And he had 100 and this is one of his all-time record, 110 shutouts, and a game that didn't end until a walk-off hit in the 15th inning.
Yeah, 0-0. Yeah. 0-0 until that hit, until that walk-off hit. And he also, and there was another one. It was a 3-0 victory over the Athletics in 1910, 16 years earlier. But anyway.
In
15 innings, a complete game, 6 extra innings, and he gave up 6 hits, no runs
Yeah,
only
he
3
also
walks.
had a 1-0 third inning game that he won.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Only that was against the Phillies in 1919. So I mean, this is, and supposedly there was I thought I saw it wasn't an opening day game, but there was one game he pitched against a knuckleballer whose name escapes me at the moment, and they each pitched 18 innings, and
they each pitched 18 innings. So 2 pitchers for both teams in there the whole game.
Two pitchers who went 18 innings, and
that's back when bullpens had like 3 players in them. Then they got him once.
They didn't have bullpens. You just finished the fucking game.
No,
there's no closer.
You're the pitcher today.
You're fucking pitching. Keep going.
That was
tired?
I believe that was.
I will try and get a run for you. If you can't, sorry, you got to go back out.
Your right arm pitch lefty.
You only got another couple innings. You can get it. You can get through it.
Use the splitter.
There you go. Number 4, Mr. Walter Johnson. All right. Move on to number 3. Number 3 is Mr. Bob Feller. Game in question, the Indians versus the White Sox, opening day 1940. Who has this one?
9 innings, 5 walks, 8 strikeouts, 1-0 win over the White Sox. And what was special about it? Oh yeah, no hitter.
No hitter.
Only one in opening day history. And Feller was, not some scrub who came out of nowhere to have a great game. He was a 2-time All-Star at that point, and 21 years old.
Yeah,
and not at home either. He was in Comiskey Park.
He was in his 4th year, so that means he started when he was 17.
17. He was playing baseball at 17. Yeah,
and a 2-time All-Star, and he goes out and throws a no-hitter.
Throws a no-hitter, complete game, obviously. No-hitter, 9 innings, no-hitter, no hits, no runs, 5 walks. Otherwise, it would have been, he get those walks down. He could have had a nice, perfect game. But it's still the only no-hitter in opening day history. Slacker.
Well, that's the thing. Unless those 5 walks are all in one inning, when you don't give up any hits, they mean nothing.
Right.
unless unless somebody's stealing a couple bases, and that's including home.
Could you imagine having a no-hitter for 9 innings, but in 1 inning you get shelled for 5 walks and you lose 2-0? Pitch a no-hitter and lose 2-0.
Well, no, hold on. You could give up 5 walks in 1 inning and still not give up a run.
Well, it depends if the other batters, if they put it in play and you get the out,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't.
Say you give up 3 walks in a row.
Right.
And then the guy grounds out to first, and you throw the guy out at home plate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then, so then you got what? So is the bases still loaded then?
Yes.
Okay, so it'd have to be a double play.
It'd have to be a double play.
It'd have to be a double play. So you ground out to the pitcher, to home, back to first, double play, guys on second and third, then you walk another guy and you strike somebody out to end the inning. So you could walk a guy. You could have 5 walks.
You could have 4 walks. You could have
4 walks.
4 walks. Yeah. Could have 4.
What would be, I think, more interesting is if you gave up 3 walks in an inning,
right,
and then nobody went anywhere,
right?
Because there were
the 3 walks and they just stand there.
Ground ball, you threw them out at home. Couldn't get the double play,
or you just maybe 3 strikeouts,
or
3 walks and then 3 strikeouts. There you go.
Pop up, maybe a short fly ball or something.
Infield fly.
Everybody just kind of stays on the base they're on. So
you gotta love it.
Yeah, that's.
All right, you could have 4. You walk the first 3 guys. You pick the guy off at first base. You walk the next guy. You pick the guy off at second base. You walk the 5th guy, and then you retire the side.
Yeah.
So you can't have 5 walks in an inning.
Hey, you knew. Somehow you were going to figure out how to do
it. It's got to be some pickoffs.
So if you get 2 pickoffs, you can walk 5.
Hey, look, and if anybody can do it, it's Bob Feller.
There you go, Bob Feller. He'll do it. There you go. All right, number 3 on our list is Mr. Bob Feller. And we move on to number 2. Number 2 is Hammer and Hank Aaron. Braves versus the Reds, 1974 opener. Harry, why don't you tell us why this one is interesting?
On April 4th, 1974, Hank Aaron strolled to the plate, and on the first swing of his 21st season, he hit his record-tying 714th career home run off of Jack Billingham of the Cincinnati Reds. Aaron would go on to hit number 715 4 nights later on April 8th and break the all-time home run record. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
I mean, that's a good way of starting the season.
It's a great way to start a season.
And he's still the record holder.
21st season. 21st.
He's still the record holder as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah.
21st season. And with the first week, he tied Babe Ruth's record and then broke it within the first week of the season.
Yeah.
So there you go. I got to love it. Number two.
I mean, there is something to be said for longevity and putting up numbers. But
well, that's why Babe Ruth still holds the record for most hookers on opening night.
Sure.
God.
I mean, by
a long shot.
700 of anything is an awful lot, even if you play the game for 21 years.
Exactly.
You gotta love it. All right. Number 2, Hammer and Hank Aaron. All right. And then our number 1, Mr. Number 1 on our list, number 42 in your programs, number 1 in your hearts, Mr. Jackie Robinson. Both of you talk about it. Why is this particular game? It was the Dodgers versus the Boston Braves in 1947. Why is this game important?
Jackie Robinson took the field as the first baseman for the Brooklyn Dodgers. And on this day, he ushered in the biggest change in maybe our American society and in sports in general when he broke the color barrier. And look, we're still not perfect as a nation, but this was a big, big, big moment. And I can't imagine what it would be like to be in his shoes, but there you go. And he did it. And sports changed forever after that day.
They did. They certainly did. There's nothing more to say about it. That April day in 1947 changed it all right there.
It's the only good thing that ever happens on April 15th, by the way, which happens to be tax day.
And in large part,
not this year.
Because of the player that he was as well. I mean, if he'd sort of been a minor figure, kind of a half scrubby kind of guy, he would have been, the first player, but he was Jackie Robinson. And I guess he had to be brilliant even to get that opportunity.
Absolutely.
But he certainly lived up to the hype.
This is true.
He did okay.
He not only had to get there, but he had to prove that he belonged there, not only with his play, but, to try and change the minds of narrow-minded and small-minded people.
Yeah, and I mean, he came in, he was a little older. I don't know how old he was. I can't remember when he played finally for the first time in the majors, but you could argue Jackie Robinson's the best baseball player of all time. I think there's a legitimate argument there, and I can't imagine. I mean, I can't imagine what that was like, and I don't think there's really been anything equivalent to that necessarily in our lifetime. But look, we're still seeing things change for the first time. We're still seeing, minority coaches break into areas that they've never broken into before. We're seeing, women coaching, especially in basketball and other arenas where we're seeing 2, African-American female coaches in the NCAA Final Four for the first time. There's still things that are changing and catching up to where we should be. But this has to be right up there with one of the biggest cultural moments, I think. And I think both of these are milestones that resonate even if you're not a baseball fan. Look, when Hank Aaron hit that 715th home run, maybe the moon landing had more significance and was able to bring people together more than that. But I'm not sure it did.
Yeah.
Well, and there was also a lot of animosity towards Aaron.
Of course.
There were a lot of people who hated him because, he was black. And
of course.
Babe Ruth,
but there was so many more.
There were many more
who were baseball fans for that moment.
Yeah, they were far outweighed that other stuff. But quick question to both of you: who was the first? He obviously played in the National League. Who was the first black player in the American League? Obviously, the second black player in Major League Baseball. Who's the first in the American League?
I knew this. It's not a
Walker.
Nope.
Dobe Walker? No.
Marisol? No. I don't know.
I'll give you a couple hints. He played that later that year, July 5th was his debut, and he played for the Cleveland Indians.
Doby.
Larry Doby.
Larry Doby.
So
yeah, I knew.
I wouldn't have got that.
From New Jersey, Patterson, New Jersey, actually. But he was born in South Carolina and moved to Jersey after that. Anyway, Larry Doby. There's if you go to Progressive Field in Cleveland, there's a big statue of Larry Doby out in front. Somewhere I have a picture.
But he was no Jackie Robinson.
No, he doesn't have a rotunda. He just has a. He just has
statue. Only a statue.
Only a statue. So there you go.
No, every winter there's a statue of me in the backyard made out of snow.
This is true. This is true.
See, I always thought it was Campanella, but Campanella wasn't until the next year.
Yeah.
Satchel Paige was after these guys too.
Satchel Paige was after these guys. Yeah, the first one was Jackie Robinson on opening day in 47, and then later that year in July 5th was Larry Doby for the Indians in the American League. So he's billed as the first black breaking the color barrier in the American League.
Right.
Anyway, Larry Doby. So anyway, there you go.
And here's the thing though, which is crazy. Jackie Robinson broke in the beginning of 47. Doby did it later that year. There was 1, 2, 3, 4 guys who played in 47. Campanella and Satchel Paige did it in 48. Don Newcomb and a couple others did it in 49. Willie Mays in the top 20 here, 1951 with the New York Giants. I did not put that together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible that, yes, Jackie Robinson broke it in 47, but, only 1, 2, 3.
5 players in 4 years.
15 other players.
15 players in 4 years, rather. Yeah.
Did it. It's crazy, and I didn't realize Willie Mays was that high on the list of groundbreakers.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly. It wasn't exactly opening the floodgates.
Right. No, I thought it did.
Still had a lot of. No, you still had a lot of opposition, even and amongst the players too. It wasn't just fans and or owners.
Look at you look at teams like the Brooklyn Dodgers and the St. Louis Browns and the Cleveland Indians. These are the teams that consistently were doing it, and then came the Boston Braves and the New York Giants and the Chicago White Sox. It seemed like once the team was able to do that, it seemed like their fans accepted it a little bit more because they had multiple guys on this list.
Yep.
Of course, there wasn't 40 teams back then either, but yeah.
So there you go. That is our number one on our top 10 Major League Baseball opening day performances. Would be Mr. Jackie Robinson. A couple things I want to mention before we go to Old Balls, really quick. A couple things. They're not actually opening day performances. Well, they are, but they aren't. Just want to mention Ted Williams on opening days was a .449 hitter on opening days over the course of his career. Had 3 home runs and 14 RBIs in 14 opening day games. He had at least one hit in every opening day.
Ted Williams,
yeah.
He was still a jerk, though.
He hit 460 on the second day of every season.
Second day at 460, yeah. So it was actually...
Yeah, but only
it was actually a bad thing
opening
day.
On the third day of every season.
That's right. What I mean,
come on, I mean,
what a hitter. Jeez.
Yeah. Insane. And the other thing I want to mention, Hall of Famer, Mr. Tom Seaver, Tom Terrific, still holds the record among Major League pitchers for the most opening day starts.
11, right?
16.
So 11 with the Mets.
11 with the Mets, 16 between the Mets, the Reds, and the White Sox.
On the White Sox, that's right.
White Sox, yeah. So 16 times.
Yeah, Tom Seaver. I'm surprised Nolan Ryan didn't come close to that. But I guess he was their number 2 later on in his career.
For a while he was their number 2, yeah. So,
there's actually, if you look, there's an interesting page of the career opening day for some of these guys, and Seaver with the starts and Johnson with wins, Walter Johnson, Randy Johnson with strikeouts.
Yeah.
Some very interesting numbers. Pete Rose, number of opening day games played, 23 home runs. 3 guys on that list with 8.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Dunn, Ken Griffey Jr., and Frank Robinson. So I looked that up. Some very interesting, some interesting names kind of come up.
Yeah,
over the course of their career, guys who had good opening days.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of which,
that'll bring us to this week's Old Balls.
Old Balls.
Tell us, Harry, who this week's Old Balls recipient is.
This week's Old Balls recipient is someone who has had the most hits on opening day in the history of baseball, and that's none other than Mr. Pete Rose. He's had 31 hits on opening day. And in 1974, as an example, he reached base 4 times. His leadoff walk sparked a 3-run 8th inning that cut the Reds' deficit to 1. And his RBI double off Phil Niekro in the 9th scored George Foster to tie the score. And then Rose took over the game in a way only Pete Rose could. With 2 outs in the bottom of the 11th, he smacked an opposite field double. A few pitches later, Rose scored the game-winning run all the way from second base on a wild pitch. So there you go. I mean, I feel like Pete Rose played baseball for like 57 years.
58 and a half, actually.
Yeah. And, look, we can delve into the whole controversy of Pete Rose. I get it. But he's Pete Rose. Of course he's going to have the most hits on opening day.
Right.
He's probably broken the most jaws on opening day, too, and stolen the most bases and broken the most bats in the dugout. And, he's gotten the worst haircuts on opening day. It's,
lost the most money.
Yeah, or won the most money,
or maybe won the most money.
That was after.
Look at how uninterested in the hit he just got in this picture.
You know what? That's one thing I don't think you could ever say about Pete Rose is that he ever, for 1 second, uninterested in the game. They could be down 14-3, and he's gonna try to stretch that single into a triple.
Of course.
And I'm not getting in front of him when he's sliding into third. I'm not getting in front of him when he's
put that back up again. Can you put that back up again for a second? This is kind of like that looks like only a double. To me, that's what his face says.
I can walk.
And look, he's playing with somebody else's right arm. So, he was injured.
His right arm.
He was injured, and he just said, "Well, give me Roy Campanella's right arm."
I don't think he said give me. He just took it.
He just took it. He just ripped it off.
I'll bring it back when I'm done.
He ripped it off, stuck it on. Look, it's even got a different colored batting glove.
And then he handed it, went back to the dugout, handed it back to him, and go, "This sucks. I only got a double."
Yeah, that's George Foster's arm right there.
George Foster or George Foreman?
George Foster. Yeah.
Gotta love it. Anyway, so on that note, yes, our Old Balls this week is Mr. Pete Rose.
Old Balls.
Here he is.
I think next week should be the top 10 Anchorman quotes.
I think we're going to have to do that at some point.
Because there's some good ones.
There are some great ones. Some great ones. Absolutely. All right. Well, on that note, that brings us out of baseball. Again, good luck to all the teams out there, except for the ones that these other 2 guys want to say their piece to. But in any event, good luck to everybody. Everybody have fun. Hope springs eternal. Enjoy this, hopefully not shortened, not delayed, not delayed, but not stopped at some point. Major League Baseball complete season, first one we had in a couple of years. So it'll be great. Anyway, looking forward to it. And there'll be more where that came from. All right, let's move on to let's talk a little basketball. Throw that up there.
Is there any basketball going on right now?
I believe so.
Hey, the Knicks are winning.
Oh, they're winning and losing. They're 500. Yeah. You mean they're winning tonight?
They're winning tonight.
They're up by 10 on.
They're playing the Bucks again, right?
Yeah. They seem to have the Bucks number. No, they beat the Bucks the other night.
They beat the Bucks the other night.
Nobody played on either team, but yeah,
beating Minnesota. Yeah.
Brooke Lopez was not a happy camper after that game. I'll tell you that much.
The Bucks beat the Celtics, I think, tonight.
But the Knicks are
Yeah, they're up by 10 on Minnesota.
They're playing Minnesota. Yeah, they're playing Minnesota tonight.
So that's a game they should win.
Yeah. 90. Yeah, what was there? 8 minutes left. Yeah, they'll win that. So yeah. Hey, you know what? Right now they're what? They're in 5th place now.
I think they're a half game out of.
They're a half game out of
5th.
4th. They're half. No, they're in 5th. They're a half game out of 4th. They're in 5th, half game out of 4th actually. They're separated. 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are all separated by a half game.
The Celtics just can't seem to get it together.
Yeah. Hawks are half a game ahead of behind the Heat. Heat are half a game behind the Knicks. Knicks are half a game behind the Hornets.
If you look at the top 8, the Celtics and the Heat are the only 2 teams in that group under 500 in their last 10. The Knicks are right at 500, and then Charlotte is 6-4, and Atlanta is 6-4.
Charlotte's the surprise team in the East.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely are.
I think that's more of a shot than the Knicks.
Knicks are a game up. They're not 500. They're 24 and 23.
Well, that's 500.
Well, no, but I mean they're 5-5 in their last 10.
We'll take it.
Oh, they're 5-5 in their last 10. Yeah.
In other words, you've got Philly.
They win the night.
7-3.
They're 2 games ahead.
The Nets are 8-2. The Bucks are 7-3, and then everybody else has,
everybody else is
in that top 8 is 6. Yeah. It either has 6 wins or 4 wins, or in the case of the Knicks, they're 5-5. So
this is true.
So that's listen. This kind of might be just about the way it stays for the remaining. How many games we got left?
20? I think Miami sneaks up. I think Miami sneaks ahead of the Knicks. I really do. I think Jimmy Butler will will it.
25 games, I think.
25 games, yeah. Miami should get better. They just need a little bit of time for guys to acclimate, the moves they made. And they should be. Charlotte really is a surprise.
They are the surprise of the NBA. I think that Charlotte, the Knicks, the Suns. Although I've been talking about the Suns for 3 years, and I'm finally right.
It had to be at some point.
Yeah,
but I mean, Charlotte
and San Antonio.
Charlotte's 7-1 in the division.
Yeah, Charlotte's
that's what the hell. That's better than the Nets. Better than the Heat. Better than everybody, but Philly and Milwaukee, really.
I mean, right? I hope the Knicks can kind of stay at 4 or 5 because I don't think they're going to get to 3. But Knicks Charlotte would be a first round matchup.
Yeah,
that's a toss up.
It is.
They could win a first round matchup only if they play Charlotte.
If they play Charlotte, yeah.
Because they're not going to play Miami or Atlanta or I mean, they're going to wind up either playing the Nets, the Sixers, or the Bucks.
Oh.
So we'll see. They got a half game on the Heat. I think the Heat will pass them. Atlanta's playing better ball too.
Yep.
So I don't know. We'll see.
We will see what happens with that. It's coming out interesting. Things that we said were probably going to happen. I mean, we said the Wizards were playing.
They've kind of tanked.
They've kind of tanked off a little bit. So hey.
Although I don't know, Stephen A. Smith went off on Russell Westbrook, so maybe that'll motivate.
Oh, that's motivation right there.
Because
if anything can motivate Russell Westbrook,
because you're going to motivate Russell Westbrook to have a better game than 37, 18, and 12.
Yeah.
How much more can he do?
I think the argument has been settled. Who's better, Westbrook or John Wall? I think because I know there were a few John Wall defenders, but I heard this today. Russell Westbrook has played 38 games with the Wizards, I believe it is, and he is now their career leader in triple doubles. And again, I mean, you can kind of devalue the triple double. I think that's fair, but still, it is a stat to be noticed.
38 games, and he's their career leader in
38
triple
games.
doubles.
I believe I heard that today. He's their career
leader. The previous leader was Wes Unseld with 2.
So he's been their leader in.
Earl Monroe had 1 once.
And no, John Wall had 11, and Russell Westbrook now has
12,
28 or something. I don't know. I don't know what the actual number.
38 games he has 37. Yeah.
38 games he's got 36.
Knicks are only up by 7.
Oh,
that's all they need.
7 minutes left.
Well, do you want to talk about
by 6?
Do you want to talk about the Nets and the whole
7.
buying the championship
7,
thing?
Yeah, I mean, who knows what the Nets are going to be? I mean, is Kevin Durant going to do something other than getting wars on DMs with Michael Rappaport? Is he going to play?
I don't know.
Like, what is this? I don't know what the Nets are.
I think I saw today or yesterday, maybe they played 7 games altogether, the big 3. That's it. Like, we haven't really seen the Nets as they have been built.
And again,
more than a handful of games.
Yeah, is Kyrie back? I don't even know.
Kyrie's back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody's playing, but Durant.
But KD, yeah.
Joe, Harris had 28 tonight, 7 to 12 3-point range. Jeez. He's the key. He's going to be the key to that team. Yeah. I mean, are they going to sign Boogie Cousins to like a 6-game contract? I don't know.
Yeah, I hope not. I don't think so.
Have they officially signed Aldridge and he's just not playing yet? Or
no, I believe they have. Yeah,
they've signed him. Yeah, they signed him.
Yeah,
he signed already.
Whose spot is he going to take?
KD's.
Well, I mean, yeah.
He could be a backup, but they're saying it'd be mostly Claxton would probably lose some minutes, which would be a mistake because Claxton has been phenomenal this season.
Yeah, but Claxton came off the bench tonight, and I think it's. I mean, do you think I think right now Aldridge, does he start?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think he starts.
I think they're going to
start Bruce Brown over LaMarcus Aldridge.
If you're winning, yeah, I think so.
I like Harris, DeAndre Jordan, Kyrie Irving, Harden, and Aldridge. I like that as a starting 5. And then you got Brown, Green, Griffin, Claxton. I don't know. I think LaMarcus Aldridge is still a starter. I mean, I think he'll be fine coming in off the bench. Right. Obviously, when and if Durant ever comes back, is DeAndre Jordan a better player than LaMarcus Aldridge?
I think so. I think. Look, Aldridge. I
don't think so.
Aldridge is 35.
Okay.
I don't know how much you want him out there, as a starter. I don't know. You want to give your starter, 25 minutes?
DeAndre Jordan's 32.
That's 3 years.
Okay. Well, yeah, I could. Really? When was he born? What month?
It could be 2 years and 8 months. I mean, come on. But you know what?
I think it depends.
I don't think you screw with the chemistry. I think they're winning. They're doing everything right. I think you bring them in as you bring them off the bench, and then if something's screwing up with somebody, then you start them.
Listen, you know what?
You think you bring them in right away to start. I think
you're probably going to win either way, so you can experiment with both. Who knows what Steve Nash is going to do?
Claxton played 21 minutes tonight, primarily at center, because DeAndre Jordan only played 12 minutes.
Right.
So, and DeAndre Jordan was the only net. He was in minus 16. Everybody else in the starting 5 was plus 16, plus 4, plus 16. So
Harden was the minus 10.
True. So I mean, it looks like there's the second unit kind of did the job against the.
Well, that's why I think that's where LaMarcus Aldridge is going to be. He's going to.
Knicks are up by 2.
You're going to have a second unit that's just going to dominate everyone else's second team. But yeah, I guess who knows what they're going to do? Look, Blake Griffin had 20 minutes. He was plus 23. But I mean, these guys are, I think
Aldridge comes in before Griffin.
Probably, yeah. But they're role players. I think they just brought him on for a role player. But that's going to be kind of the dance that Steve Nash is going to have to. He's going to have to find everybody enough minutes.
He's going to have to do that. Yeah, I can't believe the Knicks have let the gap.
LaMarcus Aldridge is an expert. He's not going to
like this. But
but he didn't really. I don't think he did much with the Spurs last
year. He had pretty good numbers.
There you go. So anyway, I can't believe the Knicks have.
They're up by 2.
They're up by 2.
This is a game the Knicks would lose.
Yeah, Karl Anthony Towns is 18. Towns is going to town. But had to say it. Sorry. Nothing. Silence. Not even a.
It's not even worth. I don't want to. It's like
humor.
Yeah. No, I don't want to.
Nobody's having a particularly good night for the Knicks tonight.
No, Randall's got 22. He's the high scorer. So look at Luka Doncic.
That guy's pretty good.
36 points tonight. This is weird. It says end of quarter 4. It doesn't say final score. It says end of quarter 4. Are they doing it?
Well, maybe they're tied.
No, it's tied 113 to 108. Oh man.
Score updates may be delayed.
I guess so. Anyway, but yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, it's some of it's shaking out the way we thought it was going to. Some of it's not. But like we said, there's 24 games after the night left, so we'll see how they play out.
I mean, Aldridge last year averaged 19 and over 7 rebounds a game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's down a little bit this year. Part of that was, but still, his numbers are still better than DeAndre Jordan. I think, depending on the matchup, I think Aldridge is going to be is a much more important addition to the Nets than Blake Griffin.
Mm.
Oh, I'd agree with that.
So,
and he can shoot, which Jordan can't.
There you go. And your question before, just so you wanted to know, whatever. Blake Griffin's 32 and LaMarcus Aldridge is 35. Blake Griffin just turned 32. LaMarcus Aldridge will be 36 in July.
I was talking about DeAndre Jordan, but yeah.
Oh, DeAndre Jordan. Sorry.
He's also 32.
Right.
He likes sparklers on his birthday.
They're literally 2 days apart.
Blake Griffin likes sprinkles.
Aldridge's birthday is July 19th. Jordan's birthday is July 21st. So
well, there you go. They can celebrate together while they're both logging.
2 years and 363 days apart. So there you go. Anyway.
Yeah, Jordan. I get Jordan's going to be in there for defense more than anything else. But it's not like they need LaMarcus Aldridge to score a lot of points. It'll be interesting to see how they use him.
Yeah,
he's a pretty good defender too, and he's versatile. He can guard he can guard the 3 or the 4 or the 5. Which against some teams you might want to. You're going to need some The Nets don't have those big bodies against when you're playing. The Sixers.
Right.
That's where it's really going to come in handy.
Yeah.
Knicks are back up. It's a 4-point game now, 96-92.
Knicks in Minnesota. Boy, if you're sitting at home watching this game, you just
you got nothing else to do. That's for sure.
Hot stuff.
98-94.
There you go. Well, come on,
Still
Knicks.
4-point game. So, a little under 3 minutes left.
Yeah, Miami already won tonight, so.
Knicks win percentage is 78.12%. So there you go. And there you have it.
Did you see that play last night? Not to change by Covington off the pass from Lillard. He did a 360 reverse layup.
I did not see it.
I'll tell you what, the Trailblazers, I don't know why I always catch the Trailblazers. It seems like they're on late a lot. And they're a fun team to watch.
Yeah. And
with McCollum back and Nurkic back, Carmelo is still putting up 16, 18 points in 20 minutes. I mean, I think the Trailblazers are a team to watch out for in the playoffs. I really do. I mean, they're 29-18.
Yeah, they are.
And they're finally healthy. I think they're going to be all right.
They should be.
The West is going to be a shit show. It's going to be tough.
Let's take a look at that. The West is actually we talked about the East. The West is, it's still, the Jazz are still winning, but.
But the Jazz don't scare me like either of the LA teams do if they're healthy.
Right.
Phoenix too.
Yeah, Phoenix. I think Phoenix is a much more dangerous team because they're able to get out on the open floor.
And then you got the Nuggets and the Blazers.
And look, the Nuggets got a lot better. They made some good moves there. It's an odd team to watch now. They still don't have a point guard. They have 17 power forwards. But they looked good. They're gelling already, and they're playing good defense. Gordon was a great pickup for the Nuggets.
Sure.
But more importantly, JaVale McGee, 3-time NBA champion or 2-time NBA champion. Used to be a Nugget. I think he's also going to, the Nuggets lost Mason Plumlee. They lost some role with Jeremy Grant. And then who was the guard that they lost? Not Gary Harris. Of course, they lost Gary Harris this year, but it doesn't matter. they lost 3 really big role players on that second unit, and I think they're kind of back where they want, and they've got some versatility. Look, I think if the Lakers aren't healthy, if the Clippers aren't healthy, I think this is a year where some of these other teams can run past them.
Yep. It could very well be. Definitely.
Yeah, that's a question. The interesting question is how will the Lakers continue to fall, and so how far down?
I think once they get into the playoffs, it doesn't really matter.
They're not very deep. And without Anthony Davis, and they don't have some of the veteran role players that they did last year.
Yeah, but this was a team that everybody said got better in the offseason after winning the championship. Whatever the moves they made, everyone said, this is a better team now. I guess it wasn't about depth necessarily. But when you take the greatest player on the planet and Anthony Davis, one of the absolute best in the league, off the team.
Schroeder, I think, on paper was a good move. Does he have the intangibles that a Rajon Rondo does? I don't think so. Andre Drummond's a good backup center. Is he as good as Dwight Howard? I don't know.
Tie game, by the way. Knicks and Timberwolves.
Marc Gasol was supposed to be a hell of an acquisition. He's kind of not even playing. So
yeah.
They're thin and they're old. Now they've got some younger players that can light it up, but we'll see. They don't have the shoot. It's really going to come down to Kyle Kuzma and guys like that to see if they can really take some of the pressure off LeBron. And I don't know how hurt LeBron is. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know either. I got to ask you a question. We never talked about this the other day. How do you feel about Mitchell Robinson?
Well, you never want to see anybody get hurt. It's horrible.
Yeah, he just came back from his hand broken, and he breaks his foot.
That sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it's he could be one of those big guys who's perennially kind of fragile. I don't know. I think he's one of the big 3 in the Knicks. I think he's one of the guys that, his numbers don't necessarily match up to the impact that he has on the game, especially on the defensive end. Noel's done a good job backing him up. They've got guys like Taj Gibson. The Knicks are okay in the front court in that regard, but they're a different team. And Mitchell was just starting to get back into the groove. So it's a big loss. It is a big loss. It is.
What I found interesting was. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it came a little too late for the Andre Drummond deal.
Yeah.
Look, they
didn't seem that. Knicks just didn't seem that.
They didn't seem that interested anyway.
I
thought
they
would have done it anyway. So
the Knicks are doing what they're supposed to do. They're saying we're not going to waste money on these. We have the guys. We're going to see where we can go.
Right.
We didn't get a big name that was going to be a game changer, a literal game changer. So these veteran acquisitions, we don't need them. Let's let these guys play. Let's sneak into the playoffs. Let's give these guys some playoff experience, and then see if we can actually get some free agent acquisitions in the offseason.
And speaking of Knicks, they're losing right now by a point. 101 to 102.
What I thought was interesting about the other night was
25 seconds left.
Derrick Rose being interviewed after the game, and he didn't know.
No, he didn't.
How does he not know? I mean, it was
about what?
They didn't tell about Mr. Robinson's
Robinson getting hurt, and he was.
Yeah.
He knew he was injured, but he didn't know what it was.
A little bit. I mean, it was a shock. It was a moment. It was a real moment, which was always interesting to see. Because
is Derrick Rose hurt again? He's out tonight.
Is he?
Oh, he must be hurt again.
Unless he's just that upset over Robinson from the other.
I don't think it was a grief. I don't think he was out because of grief, but sore.
Knicks are about to lose by a point. By the way.
Yeah.
5 seconds left.
They were winning the whole game.
Yeah.
They were up by 10 with 8 minutes left.
Mm-hmm. Now they're down by 1, 101, 102.
Do they have the ball?
5 seconds left.
They have the ball.
They have the ball, yeah. So 5 seconds.
Let me ask you guys this: since you're
get a shot of.
What's up with Reggie Bullock's hair?
I don't know. It looks like the Knicks just lost.
Did they? So No good shot. I can't refresh this quick.
Now, Reggie Bullock just, I think, stole the ball from Karl Anthony Towns, and I think the Knicks call a timeout. So the Knicks have the ball, I think, with 5.1 seconds left.
Yeah, that's what I got, yeah.
Oh, these are the games you got to win. You got to get it in Julius Randle's hand or RJ Barrett.
They can beat the Bucks, and clearly, Giannis wasn't playing, and whoever else wasn't playing.
Oh, Randle wasn't playing,
and Randle wasn't playing either, and they beat the Bucks, but yet they're losing to the freaking Timberwolves. But what are you gonna do?
This is pro sports.
Any given Wednesday.
Any given Wednesday.
Any given Wednesday.
Yeah.
On any night, you could lose to the fucking Timberwolves.
You gotta love it. Anyway, yeah. Well, you know what? We'll see what happens. Right now, Mitchell Robinson is it's out. He's out indefinitely. There's no timetable for his return.
Yeah, and I don't think you rush him back.
You're not gonna. What's he gonna do? I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how bad. Was it just a hairline fracture? Is it like a 6-week thing? And he can actually play in the playoffs?
I don't know.
Timberwolves have the worst record. In basketball.
They're about to get better by one game.
They're worse than Detroit.
By a game. They're about to get better by a game.
Yeah.
They haven't. This is a long ass timeout. Let me tell you that.
But this is the Knicks in a nutshell. They're going to struggle. They're going to have to fight it out to beat teams that they should beat. And I just don't see them really, when push comes to shove towards the home stretch, beating teams that are marginally better than them. And I don't see them in a big game beating the Bucks or beating the Sixers or beating the Nets for sure.
Right.
Yeah. Well, look, Miami won tonight, right? You said.
Yeah, then the Knicks lost.
So they're going to flip-flop spots.
Yep.
And Miami's going to be, the Knicks will be 500. Miami will be a game over 500. But here's the thing. If the Knicks go on a little bit of a losing streak, the hard part would be coming back from that. They lose 4 games. I mean, they got that West Coast run. They lose 4 games in a row. It could knock you into 8th.
Absolutely.
And I don't think they have enough goods to put together a 4-game winning streak after that.
Here's the problem with the Knicks is that, with certain teams, the game's on the line, who's going to take the shot.
Yep.
Barrett took the last shot. He missed the 20-footer, and that was it. It's hard when you have a bigger guy, a big man, to win, to get them the ball with the game on the line. It's just harder.
Yep.
And so this is the problem with the Knicks. They need that all-star caliber NBA first or second team guard that can come into this lineup and make them a better team.
Yep.
And then they win. Then they come back and win a game like this.
Well, we'll see how everything shakes out. You're right. The Knicks and the Heat are going to flip-flop, but we'll see how it goes from there. All right. That's NBA for the week. Let's move on. There's a couple of things to talk about NFL-wise. Just want to.
Well, actually, did you guys? I just wanted to touch on, or did basketball? You want to do NFL and then get back to the NCAA, or?
Oh, we'll do NCAA afterwards. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
We'll do NCAA in the third hour.
In the third hour, we'll do NCAA. No, there's only a couple things for NFL. I just want your opinion on the 17-game season that everybody's.
Yes, the Giants should draft a quarterback.
That's your opinion on the 17-game season. Huh?
It's one more game where I get to watch Daniel Jones. I'm so excited.
One more game you get to watch that. You know what?
Yeah, but there'll be one less preseason game
where I get to watch somebody else other than Daniel Jones. Yeah,
right. Well, and you would think it would probably be, along the lines of that final preseason game where someone other than Daniel Jones would get a significant amount of the snaps. So you'll be missing out on that one. In the 3 remaining preseason games, you'll see more of Daniel Jones.
Yes.
Look, we knew the 17 game was coming. I think the fact that they're still playing the same amount of games, I think for the younger players, they're going to be all for it. For the older players, they're going to whine and complain. What percentage of NFL players play in all 16 games?
Yeah.
So don't know.
I'm indifferent.
It's gonna be weird though, because
all the records are going to be different now. It's not going to be 10.
Yeah, no, you're going to look at it and go.
They said the same thing when it went from 14 to 16.
Yeah, but that was an even number. This is an odd number now.
It's you're
gonna be you're gonna be looking
10
at
and
it
7 or 9.
Yeah,
and
9 and 8 or. Can 8 and 9 get into the playoffs?
Nobody's ever gonna end the season 500.
Well, that's good.
That really friggin' matters.
So the entire NFC East will be one game under 500 instead of 500. It'll make it easier to say you don't belong in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Because they'll have the same number of wins.
Right. Right.
They still got 8 wins.
Yeah. It'll make the ties more interesting.
Well, get this.
Because the Lions are going to have a tie. Like the Lions and Vikings always have a tie every year, it seems.
The Giants got for their extra game. They got the NFC East is playing the AFC East for that extra.
I thought maybe they were going to get Brigham Young or something.
No, they got Hoboken. No, Giants
Alabama.
have Alabama.
They'll lose Alabama.
I know that's why it's bad.
The Dolphins. They're playing the Dolphins. For their extra game. The Jets are playing the Eagles for their extra game.
Great.
And the Packers are playing the Chiefs for their extra game.
Are we really going to call it the extra game? Come on.
Well, no, their extra game. Extra game over the what they already put out the season schedule.
Look, I hated the bye week. I hated. I don't really. I've given up on trying. Who cares? Right. They're gonna do. They're not gonna listen to me anyway. I don't think you need a fucking bye week. I don't think you need 17 games.
Yeah. Roger Goodell says he expects the stadiums to be full this year. You think he's on the ball on that one?
Full of sick people, maybe.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think the thing that might stop that from happening is the people themselves, who might say, "I'm not going to a stadium full of 80,000 people," and I don't know if you're going to get 80,000 diehards who are going to.
You will.
Well, I don't know who are going to cough up the money for the tickets.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
No pun.
You will. You will.
I don't know. I tend to think you're right. Yeah, but
look, we're talking about sports here. Okay. Most NFL fans,
I know, but the NFL
most NFL fans do not fall into a category of logic and caution.
Not at all.
Yeah, they will. It will be packed, and they'll pay the money. And
I can see that. I don't think every stadium.
I hope they have.
There's some places might be a little different than others, but I'll tell you one thing: Carolina and Tampa Bay and Kansas City and Dallas, they'll be packed.
Yep,
they'll be packed.
Well, I'll say this: if these states keep opening up, and we get some of these variants, and all we need is one or maybe two variants that aren't quite so that you don't get protection from the current vaccines from. Yeah, then we're going to see a shutdown, and then you're not going to have anybody in the stands again.
Look,
this year.
I'll tell you one. I don't know if you guys have been vaccinated yet or not. I'm on one list. I don't know where I'm at. On another list, I don't know where I'm at, and I'm 48,000. I'm number 48,612 in line on for my primary medical provider. It's get the fucking vaccines out. Get them out and start sticking people in the arm.
Well, they are. They're doing
it's taking forever. And now here in Colorado, they're going to open it up to everybody. So now it's just like, okay, we went from 65 and older to 50 and older. Now everybody. So it's going to take forever. It's going to take forever.
Wait until you get everybody that's 50 and older that wants to take it, and then you can open it up to everybody else.
Right.
Is what you're saying. Yeah.
Right.
So, I hear you. But well, let me ask you this one other NFL question. Pro Day, good or bad? You like Pro Day? You think that's a good thing?
Remember, there used to be one. Now, why is everybody having like 3 or 4?
They have their own. They have their own
private workouts.
Private workouts. Yeah. What do you think of Pro Days, though? You think they're worth it? You think they mean anything? You think they're should sway people's minds of what they saw last season to, you know what, maybe he is better than I thought, just based on this Pro Day workout?
See, if you ask most NFL people, especially this year,
right,
where there's some tough decisions to be made at a very skilled position,
right, then
yes, the Pro Day helps.
I agree to a point, but here's my thing. How can you judge a quarterback, per se, that is standing there in gym shorts and a T-shirt and not getting rushed and just throwing a pass to a wide open receiver? How do you judge?
Well, it's not just that. I think it's also how do they respond to certain situations, and it gives them a chance to actually talk to these guys and see them in a situation where they're face to face, and that's a little bit of the differentiator.
That's the only thing that I think is good about it. Plus all of the other workouts, running the 40s and blah 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 and all that other stuff. That's fine. I get that for some of the from some of the positions, but there's that good old quote that Lou Holtz said: "If I could evaluate players in shorts and t-shirts, I'd be a basketball coach."
So. Yeah, I think
Lou Holtz is kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he is.
Fucking racist conservative prick.
For me, if you're looking at maybe arm strength, if you're looking at maybe arm strength and maybe footwork, that's about all you're really going to learn from a pro day. Remember a couple years ago, was it Manziel who? Oh no, it was did it with his pads on.
Yeah,
or was that?
Was it Manziel?
I hope he did it with his pants on.
His pants. He did it with his pants.
You better really be impressive if you're going to win him over with your pants off.
Who's the? Yeah, I think it was him.
I could pivot on my third leg.
Or who's the Cleveland quarterback?
Did it with his pants on. Johnny Manziel.
No, the current one.
Oh, the current one. Yeah.
The guy who lives in the stadium.
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel lives in the stadium.
No, the current Browns quarterback.
Yes, I know who.
Baker Mayfield. No,
Mayfield. Maybe it was. No, I thought it was Manziel who did it in his pads, so he would look
Manziel
bigger.
did it in his pads.
Yeah, so he would look bigger. I don't think it. Again, maybe the face to face is going to give him. There's not very much they're going to learn from a pro day.
Well, Doug Flutie did it in stiletos, and boy, it's helped him throw over those defensive
Doug Flutie did it in pads, and they didn't think he was wearing any pads. But
I don't know. I can't wait for the draft to be over because I am so sick and tired of just listening to thousands of men pontificate about who's drafting who in the NFL draft.
Yep.
It's so tedious.
I can't turn to the NFL Network anymore, and just the only thing on the bottom is scroll is everybody and their mother. I think one of our draft choices was scrolling across the bottom at one point.
Yeah,
everybody in the country has their own draft, and it's scrolling
maybe
across
our last show before the draft, we should do a mock draft. I think
let's do a mock draft.
We should all wear mock.
We'll have it going across the bottom the whole entire show, no matter what.
No. I think we should just do one. Maybe do the first round or the top maybe 20 picks.
We can do that. If we're going to do 20, we can do 32. So
if we can do a better job than these professional pundits,
are we going to agree on it ourselves with each of us, or are we going to do our own?
I don't know. I'll just go ahead with whatever you guys say. Let me ask you guys a question, okay? Because the big news of the week after we finished last week was obviously the San Francisco trading up for that third pick.
Right?
Is there any chance that there's more movement there? I mean, are the Jets really picking second, or are they potentially going to trade that pick?
Look, you know what? We've said this before. They'd be stupid not to trade back
if they're going to stick with.
If they're going to stick with Darnold.
But now there's talk about Darnold coming to the Broncos. I mean, everybody's been coming to the Broncos. Why the Broncos would want Darnold, I don't know, but that's how dire they are for a quarterback.
I think they're just biding their time and playing all of their bases correctly. I don't think they're, I think they know pretty much what they want to do, but they don't want to tip their hand, so to speak.
The market for Darnold is shrinking.
I think Mac Jones's value is going up. I still think that Wilson's second. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is going to be first, but I think.
Well, now there's more. Now there's a little bit more chirping about Fields in the last year or two. So.
Fields, but also from the guy from Alabama. I just said his name and now I can't remember it because I'm old. Yeah, so we could have for the first time.
Isn't every quarterback from Alabama named Mac Jones?
Yeah, we could have 5 quarterbacks go in the top 5 picks.
That would be interesting. That would certainly be interesting.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know. I think Well, you said Darnold's, as draft capital, whatever, his window is slipping away. Was there a window though? Was there interest? I mean, were there teams knocking down the door of?
I don't know if anybody was knocking down the door, but the simple fact that teams have filled their needs at that position means that he, as a possibility, is now erased for those teams.
And what other people are saying is that the highest bid they've gotten for Sam Darnold is a 3rd or 4th round pick.
Right, and that could be the other. That could be the other thing too. We don't know how many phone calls Joe Douglas is making, and he wants more for Sam Darnold than a 3rd round pick.
Look, at some point, a team has to say, "Okay, we made a mistake," and then even that player has to admit. Like Mitchell Trubisky had an opportunity to come here to Denver and compete for the starting job against Drew Lock, but instead he said, "I'm going to go someplace where I know I'm going to be a backup because I need to learn." In a system that's going to groom me to be a better quarterback. Right. So he's going to go to Buffalo and be Josh Allen's backup. That takes a lot for a guy who was a top pick and a starter to admit that.
Right.
Okay, but him and the Bears were able to admit that mutually, separately. Who knows?
You're right.
This is where I'm at with Darnold. I think the Jets would be stupid to not take Zach Wilson with that second pick.
I think they're gonna. I think you're right, and I think they're gonna. I think it's a foregone conclusion. I think Joe Douglas just wants a little bit more for him, and maybe he doesn't want to.
Maybe he doesn't go anywhere.
Maybe he doesn't go anywhere. That's my point. Maybe he doesn't want to put Zach Wilson in the beginning of the season. Maybe he wants to do.
If you're not going to get that much for Sam Darnold,
you're not.
You're going
to get a 3rd or 4th.
Why not? And you're going to draft whoever it is.
Hold on to him for the next 2 years.
Then you're going to say, okay, well, now it's an open competition. Wink, wink. We know Darnold's going to be the backup.
But they might say Darnold not, for the first year, not.
Maybe Darnold is
right.
Because they don't want to have the Joe Burrow effect,
and maybe he also competes. Yeah, exactly. And they don't throw Zach Wilson to the wolves in the first year. They put Sam Darnold in there. They know, or they're confident in the fact that Sam Darnold is going to do a little bit better this year than he did the year previous. And then if they want to trade him at that point, they're going to get more than a 3rd round pick for him.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, he would just be a place filler.
Of course he would.
In other words, you're not going to have, let's say, Zach Wilson sit behind him for a whole year. Sam Darnold is not the guy you want Zach Wilson.
They don't have to wait till after the season to trade him either.
Patrick Mahomes sit behind Alex Smith for a year.
They don't have to wait till after the season to trade him either.
Sam Darnold is not the guy that you really want.
No, it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with Sam Darnold teaching Zach Wilson anything. It has everything to do with Sam Darnold being in there and allowing Wilson to be in an NFL system for a year, to work with the staff, to work with the quarterback's coach, to get the reps in and maybe get in a few games so that he's not put in a situation where
but one of the best sources of information in that situation for Zach Wilson is going to be the starting quarterback. Although, again, Darnold may not be the guy that you want teaching him.
You know what? Is it going to be, or is it going to be Mike LaFleur?
But name a guy,
But for half a season,
name a top NFL quarterback right now who's out of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league who came in their first year and played from the very first game of their NFL career started and is still playing at a high level. There isn't anybody.
No.
So there's something to be said about that.
Sat behind Alex Smith.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre.
Josh Allen.
Right.
Josh Allen sat behind
Fitz.
Fitz, yeah.
Right. But my point is there's a difference in what those young players are going to get sitting behind Brett Favre.
Right. But hold on. Wasn't Tyrod Taylor just as big of a first-round pick as Sam Darnold?
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
So,
and even go this year, Justin Herbert. He didn't start right at the beginning of the season. He sat behind. Oh yeah, Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah. Tyrod Taylor's a good.
Tyrod Taylor just?
He's a good opening act.
Went somewhere else, right? He just
probably
got moved.
Yeah.
Former coach who wanted him. He said, "Bring him over here."
Yep.
Look, it's clear that the top 4 or 5 most valuable players in this draft are all quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So if you're the number 2 pick it's kind of hard to say I'm going to take an offensive tackle who hasn't played in a year because I want to protect my quarterback who nobody's in love with.
Right.
I don't know. That's me.
Yeah.
But then again,
look, if the deal is right from Denver or anywhere else, I think Joe Douglas jumps on it and moves Darnold off.
But don't send Darnold here. I don't want to look at that.
Wherever. I'm just. You brought it up, so I'm making a point.
Is that even? Drew Lock.
We'll have to add a new feature to the. We'll have to add a new feature to the show.
We're the only two quarterbacks battling Daniel Jones for the worst starting quarterback in the NFL.
The Bradford Daniel report.
The Bradford Daniel report. Bradford Daniel.
God.
But then again, look, you might have a coach in Rob Saleh who thinks Darnold's the guy, who says, look, there was no way he was going to be successful in the situation he was in with the coaching staff and everything that was going on. But I think he's got potential. I think and don't use your second pick on another quarterback because I think Sam Darnold's the guy. Now, is Joe Douglas going to say to the coach he just hired, we're bringing in somebody else because I think we need to, or is he going to listen to his coach?
Listen to Rob Saleh. Yeah, no, here.
I don't know if Rob Saleh is saying
if it wasn't for the fact of this particular quarterback class, I think you stay with Sam Darnold. Yeah. Because he was not going to succeed. He was not going to succeed with Adam Gase. It just was not.
Well, then you have to go after a LeVar Chase or one of these other receivers. I think. I don't know.
But you could drop back to 6 and do that, though. You don't have to get that at.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying if the Jets were going to take Penei Sewell, and that's who they want, then they should get something for those 4 spots ahead of them.
Right. I agree with that. Let me bring up one other thing, or you got other stuff, John?
No, I'm done.
I wanted to. I don't want to dwell on this too much, but. I don't know if you guys heard. Apparently, there's a group of Masusai. I don't know what is the plural of masseuse.
Masusai. I think it's just masseuse.
It's just masseuses.
18 masseuses.
21 now.
21. No, who have come out in support of. What's his name?
Deshaun Watson.
So they liked rubbing his cock.
Well, no, they have said we have given him massages, and he has never been anything but
How
professional.
many fucking massage therapists?
That's the question I was getting to. We're talking about 40 people here, 40 different people.
Well,
let's hope it wasn't in one weekend.
Some of them were obviously better looking than others.
Apparently,
but I'm thinking, even if this is. This doesn't help him, right?
No.
Even though there's nearly 20, and by the way, all of them are women. There's not a single man on either side of this equation.
Well, of course.
Oh, yeah.
So, but still, this is, which kind of, in other words, now there's 40 different masseusi. Yeah. It doesn't help him, even though half of them, or roughly half of them, had said, no, he never wanted me to touch his penis or anything like that. This doesn't really do anything for him.
There's still not, and I'm not going to sit here and have somebody bash me for saying what I'm going to say, because who the hell knows what happened?
No one's listening.
Yeah.
We'll send it to Michael Rappaport.
Send it to Michael Rappaport, absolutely. My point is, there's still not one criminal charge filed.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But don't you think by now there would have been, or should have been? And I'm not condoning this. He could be a scumbag. He could be.
Oh, he is. He's a scumbag. But he's also a really good quarterback and a privileged NFL player. Mm-hmm. And I think this is going to continue to escalate. And I think he's going to be out of the NFL this upcoming year.
Done. Out for a year or done?
I think he's out for at least a year while they review. Right. This, I think the NFL will do an internal investigation, and I think at least a couple of these will be brought to a criminal scenario.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. If what they're saying is true, that should happen. Absolutely should happen.
Well, the NFL is they're officially investigating now, right?
Right. But it's going to take more than.
But it's going to take some time. And that may be. The police, law enforcement may be, sort of, hey, we can we're doing an investigation, but we can sit back. We're not going to press forward looking for criminal charges. We'll kind of let the NFL do what they do. Because, ultimately, unless there's cameras, it's a he said, she said.
It's a he said, she said, right?
And maybe law enforcement would rather, hey, let the NFL deal with it. Because they don't, they can punish him even if it's not proven he did anything.
Right, exactly.
Right? They can do whatever the hell they want. There's no legal burden of proof for the NFL to come down on.
No.
So.
To your point, though, Pete, it does not help him at all.
It doesn't help.
Those other 18.
Yeah. Hey, those 21 that said I flashed them and tried to, jingle my way over to get him to touch me. Well, I got 20 over here who said I didn't. That doesn't help you.
I'll see your 21 and I'll raise you another 20.
Yeah. 40 different people giving him a massage. How many massages do you need? And these are obviously not getting ready for a game massages. These are
these are
massages. Well, they weren't what he wanted, but I think that was his intention in getting them. It wasn't, my quad is sore and I need to be ready for Sunday. It was. He was looking for
maybe he said his quad is sore. He needs it rubbed out, and they misunderstood him. And
or maybe he doesn't know what a quad is. He thinks
he doesn't know. That's not your quad, Deshaun.
It would be really good. It'd be really good for business if you were a masseuse, being one of the 18 to come out and said, "I don't mind this behavior."
Yeah. Well, that's not what
they said. I don't mind this behavior. They said he was nothing but a gentleman.
Okay.
So
they said he didn't do that to me.
He did that to me.
Now I'm going to get.
They didn't elaborate to the fact that. Never mind. But
no.
Okay, it's bizarre.
It's very, very, very freaking bizarre. Anyway, all right. That's enough of NFL.
That's enough masseuse talk.
That's enough masseuse talk for the day. Rangers.
No hockey. No fucking hockey. I didn't even try to slide that.
I just want to give kudos to the Rangers because the other night they were down to the Capitals. They were down by 2 nothing to the Capitals, and they scored 5 unanswered goals, 4 of them in the third, and they won 5-2. So I thought it was a good game. So
the Rangers, 5 of the Rangers gave Deshaun Watson a massage, and there was no issues.
None whatsoever. Anyway.
Did that Panera guy get his family out of Russia yet?
Artemi Panarin.
Is he on Panera Bread?
He's not going to talk about it until after the season. He said that 2 weeks ago.
Okay. All right.
Things are, he did what
hope
he had to do.
Okay.
He'll bring it up after the season. That's what he said. So
I find his name more amusing than the
Artemi Panarin.
His name is Tammy Panarin.
Artemi Panarin.
Panarin? Is that what
Panarin?
I think he should change his name to Tammy Panera.
Tammy Panera.
Panera is a great last name.
Panera. There you go.
And he could be their spokesperson.
There you go, Artemi Panera.
I'm Tammy Panera.
Yeah.
Does he have an accent? He's from Russia, right?
He's from Russia, yeah.
When I'm not scoring goals, I am scoring with Panera black bean soup.
There you go.
It's vegan.
It's vegan. It's vegan.
The new borscht belt special.
There you go.
New turkey borscht sandwich on Panera fresh baked ciabatta.
Turkey borscht sandwich.
In Russia, massage whores shut their mouth.
Oh, jeez. Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
What's next?
You wanted to talk about NCAA.
NCAA.
You want to talk to the men or the women first?
I want to talk about how many bad calls there are that are directly affecting games. Something's got to be done about this.
Pete is becoming John.
No. I mean, there's
not in football, just in
there's
just
3 or 4
college basketball.
The most recent, of course, was Baylor and UConn on the women's side.
Baylor and UConn on the women's, yeah. How do you not? That was at a non-call.
How do you get that wrong? There should have been 3 fouls called on that.
On that one play.
My whole thing is let him play that way the whole time. That should just be the rule for every basketball. Just let him play. You know what? Back in the day, with 3 seconds left in the game, you wouldn't call that, and they didn't.
But they should have. You can't club some. I mean, I agree with you. Yes, if you're gonna let them play, let them be a little bit more physical.
If you're gonna let them play, you got to let them play the whole game.
But when you got two players all over the arm and the girl's head and everything, you have to call some things. You can't say no. There's less than 5 seconds. Anything goes, even if you get mauled. And that was just
I get it.
I
get it.
Yeah, it's too bad. But here's my other.
On another note for the women, you have something on the women or the men?
No, go ahead. I think we're probably going to. It was the women. I think we're going to say the same thing.
I was just going to say just on Paige Beckers. She got nominated or not nominated. She was elected, if you will, co-freshman of the year with Iowa's Caitlin Clark by the Women's Basketball Coaches Association. She averaged 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists a game. So there you go. Kudos to her.
All 4 of these teams that are left on the women's side are really good teams.
They're really good.
And two of the teams that got bounced out are really good teams.
Yeah.
This has been a good year for the women's NCAA. There's no guarantee UConn's going to get past Arizona, and I'll tell you, Stanford looks good.
Yeah, don't bet against UConn, though. They got the refs on their side, I guess. Here's what I wanted to ask about.
I knew it was going to come to that. I knew it was going to.
About Kim Mulkey, who is the Baylor coach.
Yep. Yes.
Who was saying, let's enough with this COVID testing. Let's just let everybody play.
Was she drunk? Or is she running for Congress?
I don't know. She was upset, but the point she was trying to make is if one of these teams
gets COVID, just let it fly.
COVID and they don't get a chance to play, it's a real shame. And I don't think anyone disagrees with that.
No.
But my real question is, should we just look at this and go, well, that's a really stupid thing to say, or should she really be excoriated and perhaps punished in some way? Which I don't think she should. I mean, what she said was really dumb.
I think
putting the tournament ahead of potentially people's lives, but
I'm sure
I don't know if she should be buried.
I'm sure she'll run for Congress at any point now.
She might. But I don't think she should be buried for it.
No. Look, there's probably a lot of people who agree with her.
Well, I agree with her sentiment that it would absolutely suck eggs.
Well, everybody agrees. 99.9% of all humanity agrees with her sentiment. What I'm saying is her solution to it. Unfortunately, there's more people than you would imagine that agree with her.
Right.
And right. She's a college team from Texas.
Oh man. Well, there goes
where there's no regulations with the exception of the city of Austin.
Yeah, no.
So it's
pervasive. Yeah, right. And if you're from there and you're listening to government officials there or in Florida, right? You got Ron DeSantis going, look, we've never done any of these shutdowns and everything's fine. So
that's right.
That's what you're going to believe. So it'd be like, yeah, screw this COVID stuff. Like she was just saying, stop testing. Let's just stop with the testing. We don't want to know if half our team has COVID and we're going to give it to the entire other team, and then everyone that maybe that they. She's like, just enough with that, because we don't want to test because we don't want to know, and we don't want anybody to be blocked out of having their opportunity. Yeah. So
smart.
Hopefully they'll just kind of go, shut up, stop saying that. That's
exactly what
that'll be the end.
And for that reason,
you think that's going to go anywhere? Seriously.
And for that reason, I'm not complaining too much about the call or non-call.
Right, there you go.
Yeah. No, it's just the reason I brought it up is there have been 3 or 4 really egregious calls, all late in games, that have had a direct effect on games. And having said that, how about UCLA, huh?
UCLA's looking good. I mean, USC and UCLA both got hot towards the end there. And what was UCLA, an 11th or 10th seed?
Number 11.
11 seed. Yeah.
You got 2 number 1s, a 2, and an 11. Mm-hmm. And UCLA had a play-in game.
They did.
Against Michigan State. 17 championships between those 2 teams, and they had to have a play-in game. And UCLA is Final Four now. Awesome. I think it's great.
You guys think Gonzaga can beat them?
I do.
Yes, absolutely.
I do.
How about Baylor Houston?
I think Baylor wins. I think it's Gonzaga and Baylor. I mean, I know it's going out on a big limb there, but
yeah, I'm not
the two number one seeds.
Number one seeds left. Yeah.
I mean, what Houston
has a better shot of beating Baylor than UCLA has.
I think Houston's run, with the exception of Oregon State, who was, well, maybe with a slightly lesser exception to Syracuse. I think Oregon State was a 12 and Syracuse was an 11, and I think they were both misrated.
They were both misrated, yeah.
But, Houston over Rutgers, I don't think was
Who's
that
Gonzaga really played this year?
Everybody. Well, you mean during the regular season?
Yeah.
Everybody. They've beaten everyone.
They haven't lost.
They had a lot of games against the big teams like Iowa and all that early in the season.
Yeah.
They had a lot of those big games early in the season, and then later in the season, people were saying, well, they haven't been tested in 2 months.
So they beat Santa Clara, St. Mary, San Francisco, San Diego, Portland. I don't know. I would love to see UCLA beat them. God,
I wouldn't mind. I probably, amongst the four left, I think I'm kind of rooting for UCLA, but I'm also rooting for the opportunity to see Gonzaga a team go undefeated and win the tournament in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Last team to do it was UCLA, right?
No, it was Indiana.
Indiana, yeah.
In 75. UCLA did it
twice.
No, they did it like 4 times.
4 times.
Yeah. I think there's 7 teams that have done it all together.
Yeah.
4 of them.
4 of them are UCLA. I think that's
7 teams and 4 of them are UCLA.
Indiana, 4 UCLAs.
Was Indiana the team with Isaiah?
No.
No, it was before Isaiah.
Yeah, this was 1975.
75, okay.
Yeah. And then I forget who the other team is. NC State or something like that, or Cincinnati. I don't know.
I think Cincinnati.
But there are a number of teams that have gone undefeated in the regular season, but didn't win the tournament.
Didn't win the tournament, yeah.
But only 7 others that have gone all the way. So I kind of want to see that. I like to see, things like that have never happened before.
Yeah,
but I gotta be rooting for UCLA.
I'm right in there with you. I wouldn't mind seeing UCLA, seeing an 11 seed that at a play-in game win.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I also, on the other hand, want to see Gonzaga undefeated. I want to see that.
Yeah. And that guy for Gonzaga, what's his name? Drew Timmy?
Yeah. With the mullet?
I don't know. He needs to stop posturing when he scores baskets. I know he's a good player, but he's like giving the making the muscle thing and pointing. I'm like, come on, man, stop it.
Just stop it. Just stop.
75-76 Indiana, 32-0, 72, 73, 71, 72, 66, 67, 63, 64 UCLA, all 30-0. North Carolina went 32-0 and 56, and San Francisco went 55, went 29-0 in 1955. And for some reason, was Wilt Chamberlain on that 19? I don't remember, but anyway, so.
There you go.
Indiana, 75-76.
Yeah. So, and of course, a lot of people are going, well, this Gonzaga team doesn't really match up to those great teams, which I guess you could say that. I don't know. I don't know how you could really say that until you see
guys don't play
who goes to the NBA and, But also you're talking about a smaller NBA back in those days.
Yeah, and you're talking about an 18-year-old group of 18-year-olds versus, a 21-year-old Bill Walton or a 20-year-old Lou Alcindor.
Right.
Right.
But certainly if you do the same thing that they have done, just because it's the modern era, to me that doesn't diminish it any. But they were saying not only did they do this incredible thing, but they were also incredible teams. And Gonzaga is maybe not that incredible team, but
I
have to be an incredible team to do it, don't you?
Well, I bet there's teams that didn't win it that would destroy Gonzaga,
right?
Or teams that have won it that weren't undefeated because look at
UNLV, right?
UNLV or the Houston
Stacey
team.
Augman,
but even the teams
Greg
that
Anthony.
won it. The Duke teams. With Hurley and Leitner and Grant Hill, they're way better teams than these guys now. Look at the teams, the Michigan State team with Magic Johnson, the Indiana team with Isaiah and or Indiana State with Larry Bird. I mean, there's been better teams. Any of those Big East teams in the 80s with Ewing and Mourning and
we also
Allen Iverson and all those guys.
But my point is, we also have the advantage of knowing what those players did afterwards in the NBA.
Not necessarily, because look, some of these guys, like talking about like Bill Walton in UCLA, or Kareem lost 2 games as a college player. He won 3 championships. Okay, Bill Walton was a way better college player than he ever was a pro player. He was an okay pro player. But and there's a lot of guys who were Christian Laettner was a much better college player than he ever was a pro player.
But my point is, we don't know what Gonzaga is going to do after, so we don't have those players' pro careers to compare.
Right.
And I don't think that we should look at.
I also think the quality of competition, because these guys are around for 1 year.
Yeah.
The best players are around for 1 year.
Yeah. Although that's certainly more so in some places than others, but
absolutely.
But some of the players who are projected to be the best pro players aren't necessarily on great teams and aren't necessarily the best college basketball player.
Right.
Yep.
Carmelo Anthony, when Syracuse won it, was the best player in college basketball that year. By far, and he's gone on to become probably a Hall of Fame NBA player. But Zion Williamson was certainly the biggest prospect to come out. He did not have a great tournament, and his team was woefully underproductive and underperformed.
He didn't have good sneakers either.
No.
No.
Didn't have the blowouts.
Just one, right?
Yeah.
The left one was fine. The right one was bad.
The right one was bad. Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of times when it's you just don't know. And so, yeah, I mean, I enjoy it for that. I don't look at it as, because a lot of times in the college games, guys who are not going to become great NBA players can still be fantastic NCAA players.
Yeah.
Right. Do we want to make any picks?
Let's make picks. Yeah. Who's winning both games and then winning the championship?
I think Gonzaga wins it all.
So Gonzaga wins, and who are they playing?
I'm going to pick UCLA just because why not? I want Gonzaga to lose. That kid with the mullet just drives me nuts.
All right, what you call it, Pete? Who's Gonzaga beating?
I think it's got to be Baylor.
I think Baylor wins the championship this year.
And UCLA plays Baylor, and Baylor wins? In your mind?
Yeah.
All right.
I think Gonzaga beats Baylor in the final.
Which is probably the logical choice.
I'm with Pete. Gonzaga wins it by beating Baylor. That's mine. What about okay.
On the women's side?
Did we piss him off? We thought we pissed you off.
There he is.
It's like,
what do you got against the women's tournaments?
All right, yeah. So what about the women? Who's winning and who they beating?
I want to say Stanford, but it's hard to just go against UConn. But I think that's Stanford. I think both these games are going to be great, and I think all 4 of these teams are. It's a toss-up. I really do. I don't think it's as much of a shoe-in as people are making it seem.
No, it's definitely not. It's going to be a hard road for any 4 of these.
I think UConn's going to have a hard time against South Carolina or Stanford.
Yeah.
I think UConn wins.
So UConn is playing who?
I think they're going to play Stanford.
All right, Pete.
Oh man,
it's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way Arizona wins.
No. UConn's winning that game.
Yeah, I don't see.
South Carolina's a good team too, though.
Yeah, they are, but they're not as good as Stanford. Yeah, I think UConn over Stanford.
Yeah, I'm the same. We're all 3 in agreement there. So there you go.
All right, there we go.
So those are our picks. So we'll
we do the coin. No, I'm just kidding.
Do the coin. Why not?
All right,
do the freaking coin. Why the hell not?
Just to piss Harry off.
All right. So first do it for the men. Gonzaga, UCLA. Gonzaga's heads.
Heads, Gonzaga.
All right. And Baylor over Houston, or Baylor and Houston, Baylor's heads.
Tails.
Houston. And, okay, Gonzaga and Houston, Gonzaga's heads.
Heads, Gonzaga.
All right.
The coin has spoken.
Who was the guy from Gonzaga a few years back with the horrible mustache who was the talk of the NCAA and then flopped in the NBA?
Adam somebody?
Adam Pornstash, something.
Adam Pornstash.
Kennedy or something like that.
Yeah, God. See, this is, there you go. That's the NCAA.
That's it. Do the women.
Okay.
I mean, flip the coin to see who's going to win.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that too.
Flip the coin for the tournament where people identify as female.
There you go. Stanford and South Carolina. Stanford's heads.
Stanford is heads. Comes up heads.
All right, Stanford and Connecticut, Arizona. Connecticut's heads.
Tails.
Arizona. All right, Stanford and Arizona. Stanford's heads.
Heads.
All right, so Stanford's beating Arizona, according to the coin. All right, couple of interesting picks for the coin. We'll see how it plays out. All right.
I think the coin still did better than Terry Bradshaw.
Definitely.
Probably certainly in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Did you see not to go back into football or anything, but did you see Terry Bradshaw on whatchamacallit? Yeah, I think it was Colin Cowherd he's on.
Sanford and Son?
No, Colin Cowherd. He was on Sanford Son this weekend.
Hee-haw?
No, he said he can't stand Baker Mayfield because he's too showboaty.
I like Terry Bradshaw. And you know what? He usually has pretty good insight when it comes to quarterbacks.
Yeah, he usually does.
Yeah, he's usually spot on. He's a crazy old guy, but he's usually spot on. Yeah. I would think he'd know something about winning, you know?
Yeah.
Did he win a Super Bowl?
I think he won four of them. Yeah,
wow, there you go.
Yeah, 4 and 6 years.
He was a systems quarterback.
He was a system quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know. He's kind of hard to dislike, but I also kind of feel like his shtick is kind of...
Well, you're a Cowboys fan.
Getting old. Yeah, and then I'm a Cowboys fan, so I hate him. But when I remove that from the equation...
You guys had the more boring version, the more college-educated Ivy League version of Terry Bradshaw and Roger Staubach. Who's also a severely underrated quarterback.
Hero Roger Staubach.
Hero. Yeah, I mean, he's amazing. Look, those Cowboys... Steelers rivalries. I mean, God, Drew Hill and Roger Staubach and
they were great.
Analyzing
you for football season, but we're still 5 months away. So,
it's not going to be Terry Bradshaw.
But if you go back through NFL history, Steelers Cowboys is
one of the biggest rivalries.
Sure.
Nationwide.
Yeah, Giants, Bears, Packers.
Yeah,
but Cowboys, Steelers.
Division-wise, obviously Steelers, Cowboys are not, but national audience, Steelers, Cowboys is huge.
Yeah, talk about right. Talk about polarizing, games.
Absolutely. So, anyway, all right. Should we wrap it up for today then?
Oh, I thought there was next week already.
We're going to just start next week's show and get it over with.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Sure. Just pretend we know what happens on everything.
We'll talk about it, yeah. All right. Well, we'll wrap the show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.loggerroom.com. That's LEGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Logger Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at 7:30. And for those of you that want to just listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, and Stitcher. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you'll never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great weekend, or rest of the week first, and a great weekend. Enjoy opening day tomorrow and all that entails, and, of course, the first weekend of baseball play. Enjoy the Final Four and the championship games, and over your weekend, and have a wonderful time and enjoy, folks. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Cheers.
Oh, happy Easter, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Easter.
Yeah,
Happy Holy Thursday.
Other things
happy
besides
Good Friday
going on in the world, yeah.
Happy Easter. Happy April Fool's Day tomorrow.
Happy belated Cesar Chavez Day.
Happy belated Cesar Chavez Day. And happy belated National Pencil Day was yesterday, too. So
Can't believe I missed that.
Can't believe you missed that. So anyway, all right. Well, either way, enjoy, and we'll talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Peace.
Look at the little Tula. She's